Oh, shh, it's about to start. Popcorn?
Buttered.
Nachos?
Please.
Root beer with red licorice straw?
Right here.
Awesome.
Good bit. +2.
Alright, hi, hello. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Ready to Start the Podcast. The 40th, this is a special episode of Ready to Start Podcast if this is your first one. This is another very special 80th Sonic the Hedgehog themed podcast.
Oh my god, it's a Sonic episode, everybody! Aren't you excited?
Yeah!
For another
Sonic episodes.
Oh my god, is that you, Sonic?
Yeah, it's me, Sonic. Don't forget to tune in to Ready to Start the Podcast.
Wait, no,
Go
wait.
to the Patreon page.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. That's not just Sonic. That's Soul Era Jason.
Jason Griffith Sonic?
Jason
Oh my god,
Griffith Sonic.
Is that Soul Era Jason Griffith mocap Sonic?
Yeah, it's me. I'm mocapped right now dancing, but you can't see me.
Oh my gosh, can you run around for me a little bit in your mocap body?
Okay, here I go. Wee!
Oh my god, the skull! Oh, I love to have you here, mocap Jason Griffith Soul Era Sonic.
Thank you, but now I have to go. You're gonna be stuck with Will instead.
Hold on, Jason Griffin. We have one last question to ask you.
Okay, lay it on me.
What happened to Chris Thorndike?
Haven't you played Sonic Omens? He's dead.
It's Jason Smith. Jason Smith.
Jason Smithy.
Jason Griffin mocap Sonic, you sound so positive about your dear friend Chris Thorndike dying.
I don't know what to tell you.
I
don't know if you can stop talking like that.
I just got off watching like BoJack Horseman, and I feel like calling someone specifically Jason Griffith like mocap like Sonic is like it's like the way that they call like celebrities in that show like by their full titles every single time.
Yeah.
Like they had to say, "Oh, it's character actor Sparko Martindale."
Yeah. I get it.
Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to Ready to Start the Podcast. I'm Ryan Rivety. Who else is here? We're drawing the Mona Lisa. I forgot to change the title. Introduce yourself while I fix that.
Me?
Yeah. Well, we usually go regulars then guests, but if you want to go first, go crazy.
No.
Yeah, let's go nuts. This is a
We're going
crazy episode.
We're going insane.
We're crazy casters.
You heard it here, folks. This is gonna be the craziest episode you've ever seen. I'm William. I like to play Roblox. I like to stream on Twitch. I have all the Chaos Emeralds and Infinity Stones. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. And who's our what do you do actually before we introduce our two regulars? What do you got any more things you want to say about yourself?
When I stream, I usually do like Twitch, like chat interaction, interactive games or shovelware streams. I think they're pretty funny. They're cool. Yeah. I also occasionally make Roblox obbies. I've got one coming up very soon. It's a cart ride into Get Eaten by Zavik, Who Killed Zamom obby. So be on the lookout for that one.
Mom died?
The hype couldn't be more real.
Yeah.
All
Alright. Thank you for coming on, our special guest. We love to have special guests on the show. We're kind of different,
That's awesome. I can't believe I'm a special guest.
I know.
Who's our two regulars with us here? You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have arrived.
Oh, hello.
Mind if I kill you?
I might mind a little.
And hear you.
I might mind a little.
Hi, Captain.
Casters are hot for hire. Are here.
Only like
ready to start cast. Sorry.
I'm gonna be generous and say only 3 people will get the reference. But I guess everyone
3?
will learn tonight. I guess 3.
Alright.
If I'm being generous.
You are very generous.
Hey,
I'm Steep.
Yeah?
I'm a regular. I've been on every episode of the show. of ready to
Shit.
start the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
can
we
we
got
celebrate my...
we have a
my
hype
big
train. We can
stream?
do that.
What episode is this? We count them.
This is episode, I believe, 51, actually, of the show.
Is this episode 51?
Yeah,
Or is it episode 52? Because one of them is miscounted. I think we fixed that, right?
I think we fixed that. Yeah, I believe we are officially over like halfway to 100.
Wow. All right. And we're still not even at the length of the upcoming podcast where we talk about Pac-Man yet.
I'm
But-
really looking forward to that one.
The hype couldn't be more real. Everyone, welcome to the first Ready to Start the Podcast episode funded by Patreon. We started that last week. You probably saw it on Twitter, but I probably have to. I feel obligated to do a bit of a rundown real quick on it. So just push it a little. Let's take like a minute. We officially started a Patreon. There's a $2 tier, a $4 tier, a $6 tier. You only need to do $2 to get episodes of the podcast, our podcast, to go up on YouTube early. You get those all early if you you do the $2 tier, and it's also all you need to do to get your name read off at the end of the show, where we thank our patrons. At $4, you get entered into a monthly art raffle. There's 3 winners a month, which is cool, and you get to submit a topic at the end, which is cool. We're swapping out the questions at the end of the podcast for Patreon topics. Because I felt like when we did questions most of the time, half the time nobody had an actual question. So I thought giving people more time to think of like a topic they might want to be discussed was a bit better. So I kind of melded into that. And then at $6, you get everything including the previous tiers. And then starting probably the middle of this month, every other week, I'll be doing a gaming with patrons stream on Thursdays, probably. And the other Startcasters might show up to those, but they're not required to. But I'll always be there, and we'll play some games together. And that's about it. We can start the show now.
Yeah. Are you gonna have a stretch goal that allows you to remember to add our episodes to the playlist that you made on our channel? Because someone just pointed that out that you haven't been doing that, and I didn't know this.
When we get to 10 patrons, I'll fix the playlist. That's right. Only 2 more required, and then I'll fix the playlist on YouTube.
Come on, guys.
This
only
is
2 more.
huge. You're almost there, guys. Come on, just 2 more patrons. I'm patrons. I'm used to saying patron, because that's what mine are. I have a Patreon too. Why don't you go check mine out? No.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you're all here for Sonic the Hedgehog. You're all clawing and mauling for us to talk about that little freak again. But there's a few other things we need to talk about first. We'll get there when we get there. That'll
Like
be
Kamen Rider.
like Kamen Rider. We'll talk about Sonic around 60% of this podcast, I promise you. But there's a few things we need to talk about first. There's not much, but I'm going to go over what's written down here. News for September 2nd, which is today. A new Scooby-Doo movie. Huge.
Yes. I just thought we'd talk a little bit because we like Scooby-Doo, right?
I think we owe everything to that freak, so yeah.
Yeah. And there's a new movie that they announced. There's a few Scooby topics we could discuss. But this one in particular, it's Trick or Treat Scooby. They released a trailer for it. Yeah. I thought, I don't know. Yeah.
I think probably the most notable thing about that special is it's probably the first Scooby-Doo like movie product in like years to have a different like animation style, right? Like they kind of been doing the Scooby movies in kind of the same traditional way for like I think the past 20 years now. This one has puppet kind of, and it's like Cuphead like kind of puppet animation where it's a lot less noticeable. We've come very far in puppet animation. It's kind of like on that kind of like level. It's a bit bouncier than normal, which is interesting, and
Yeah.
it's probably the
I
main
haven't
thing.
seen this. This sounds awesome.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like it looks sort of like the kind of thing where, like, if you're, like, used to the traditional Scooby style, you might hate it. You might call this, like, Cal Art Scooby. Scooby has jumped the shark. But it's really interesting. It has, like, the same, they sometimes they do this where they style like their movies after a particular like show.
Mhm.
So like there are some movies that look like What's New Scooby-Doo for a bit. This one looks based on Scooby-Doo and Guess Who in terms of just like the designs and
Yeah.
stuff. And which is like it's like very like the character designs and like the backgrounds are really faithful to like the 70s cartoon. But the weird part is when they start moving, it's like really there's a lot of like expressive like wackiness to it. It's just like some of it's like as far as you could get from like Hanna-Barbera, like limited animation.
Mhm.
Which is a little strange to see, but you know it's kind of interesting. I actually might I don't always keep up with all these Scooby movies, but this one I feel like it would just be interesting even just to look at.
I don't either. I've watched a decent amount of them. The interesting thing about Scooby-Doo, you know, is it gets passed around with like so many directors, writers, animators. Like you tend to get a lot of like different voices and like visions for Scooby-Doo. I think probably this is maybe a bit of an infamous one if you're like kind of a cartoon head. Maxwell Adams of Billy and Mandy did a Scooby-Doo movie a while back. It was like Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo. I think that's one of the best ones they've done recently because it has that Billy and Mandy just like insane energy to it. I think that pairs really well with like Scooby-Doo. And he was gonna do the Courage one, and he didn't end up doing it because he learned like they didn't ask like the original creator like R.L. Stein. John Dilsworth. Yeah, they didn't ask him to like come on to that to like as a consultant or anything. He didn't want to do it if like he wasn't part of it. And I think it was for that special's detriment. He didn't work on it because I think that one needed a way weirder director. But it's cool seeing like different voices and people tackle a product, a franchise like this.
Yeah. So I mean, go give it a look. I compared it to like it looks like a lot of like indie animation. Is what I'd say. Like it's got a very like some of it looks cheap. Some of it's like really like fluid and looks like it was passionately drawn by like one person. It's very interesting. I
it's got
wait.
a very interesting vibe from what I'm watching the trailer right now.
Yeah. So I'm looking. That's some Scooby news for all you Scooby heads.
Yeah.
I know a big chunk of our audience is Scooby heads. There's also some stuff going on with the Scoob prequel.
Right. Yeah, I can transition to a bit of an update on some of the HBO Max stuff that happened. So that Scoob, if you're aware, Scoob Holiday Haunt, the sequel to Scoob, or the prequel in this case, the kind of the midquel actually. It's a Lion King one of half of Scoob.
Yeah.
It got canned for like a tax write-off. But something ironically happened that internally everyone really liked it. like everyone who was like at the studio really liked the movie. And now they're like, oh, shit. So they finished it. The movie is finished, and the idea seems to be they're hoping they'll kind of pay to like get the rights back to it and distribute it. So all hope isn't lost for Scoob Holiday Haunt, apparently.
Just most.
Thank goodness.
Just most of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
This is like if they're feeling just probably like some years from now, I imagine we might be able to see Scoob Holiday Haunt in its finished state.
Because it's done. It's completely done to our knowledge.
Right. Or it's like at least like 90%. It's basically done.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's still hope. It's not a bad time to be a Scooby-Doo fan right now.
Things are getting brighter and happier
Yes.
in the Scoobiverse.
Yes.
There was a few updates to a few shows that got taken off HBO Max last week. I would say, namely, OKKO, Infinity Train, and I believe Victor and Valentino was also part of this. So those shows all got like wiped last week, right? Like they got wiped off HBO Max, they got wiped off YouTube, they got wiped off Spotify. That has been slightly reversed. Some OKKO stuff is back on YouTube. Some Infinity Train stuff is back on YouTube. It's back on Spotify to my knowledge. I heard it was back on Spotify to my knowledge. But what's happening is they're looking for a new distributor for those shows. And I think people are theorizing Hulu's probably gonna pick those up. Which means they're kind of playing right into Disney's hands. If they get picked up, which is a little, oh boy.
I always forget that Disney owns Hulu.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So the good news is those shows won't be lost, but they're kind of stuck in a looking for distributor limbo right now, which is something.
Yeah. So gumball heads. You know, that Gumball movie has been through the ringer.
Yeah.
You're gonna make like a self-reference about that.
What?
That they've been through the ringer.
What? What are you talking about?
Gumball, I feel like Gumball's gonna like make a self-reference about that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What is you talking about? What are you talking about? Is this? Are you talking about the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob gets stuck in the ringer?
No, I'm talking about like Gumball's gonna like in the movie. Gumball's gonna.
Oh, okay,
like,
I get it.
I'm getting
Okay,
ready
he's
for
gonna turn to
school.
the camera and he's gonna say like, "It's sure been a crazy, production season or whatever." Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
like,
Okay, thank you.
You're literally gonna have to like go through a ringer. It's like, oh, I'm stuck. Darn, we're gonna be late for school.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I yelled at you. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, so all hope is not lost for these shows going completely missing. It's only mostly lost.
Yeah.
It's an improvement.
It's better. It's slightly better than last week, but I don't think it changes the fact that a lot of these creators and people who work on these shows got completely blindsided. A lot of the other shows are still being completely swept to the side. Like we still don't know anything about like Close Enough, for example. I don't know if that is like looking for a new home, for example. Yeah, it's still a mess, to be frank.
Out of the fire into the frying pan. I like that chat comment. Can we like super chat that? Can we like
Super chat?
I don't know streamer terms. I'm not the streamer.
Can we
super chat is a YouTube thing.
Can
YouTube
everyone
stream
It
thing.
is.
Can everyone reply to that chat comment with a clapping emoji? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we get
Close
a
Enough
picture of
was-
a monkey in the screen?
Close Enough was canceled, but they took it off of HBO Max.
Yeah,
so
that's
there's
the
no way
bigger
to
thing.
watch it.
Yeah, there's just no way to watch it in general right now.
Yeah.
It was so weird, like just watching all of that unfold, like all of the shows one by one getting delisted, and like all the showrunners being like, we know just about as much about this as you do. It's like, how does it happen? Like, I know why that happens, but it's so strange.
It happened, like, I think particularly, like, all those shows they said they're going to take down, getting taken down. It happened in the middle of our podcast talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like,
That was
like,
even bleak.
we're like 40 minutes into the show, like, oh, they're all gone now.
It's as if David Zaslav himself snapped his fingers with the Infinity Gauntlet, and half of HBO Max's library vanished.
Things just don't look very good for Warner Bros. In general, because they only have the budget to release 2 movies this year, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And they're banking everything on Black Adam and one other thing. So
You're fucked.
Harry Styles movie.
the
man.
Henry Styles movie. See, if Black Adam bombs, I don't know what Warner Bros. Is gonna do.
Oh my
You know,
God.
This is crazy. Their plan to like shave off their debt is kind of backfiring, but I think we can all agree.
You gotta admit, no matter what you think about David Zaslav, he is a guy who takes risks, and we have to respect that. We have to respect a guy who takes risks.
I really
does
like
the
when he said
unthinkable.
he's gonna. I really like when David said he was gonna take the risk and cut his balls off.
Whoa! Wow! What else has happened? There's a new SpongeBob game that was shown off at Gamescom.
I think this is a lot about the quality of Gamescom. That I think the SpongeBob game was probably among the most talked about things.
Among them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was not much at Gamescom.
It was. Looked at some footage of the new SpongeBob game. It looks like a really nice like evolution of what we saw in Rehydrated. Like they just sort of took the base of that game, polished it up, gave it some new levels.
Yeah.
And Clancy Brown's back.
Yeah, they gave the voice act. They gave him a budget this time. It looks like. If you're not aware about Rehydrated, that game kind of like if you know kind of some things. It was rushed and given a pretty low budget, and also had a lot of weird demands from Nick. Like they had to include a co-op mode, and it is the most like we had to make this ass mode ever. You could tell nobody cared about it. It had a short development time because it was supposed to tie into the movie coming out, and then the movie got delayed, but the game didn't, which was ass.
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
And it's kind of very obvious they weren't able to implement like all the things they wanted to, and it is kind of incredibly obvious because they kind of vaguely promised there was going to be more than they actually ended up being. Like they said a lot about like implementing cut content, and that kind of just culminated in like, oh, the Squitter robot is in the co-op mode. It's in it. You don't fight him.
We have Patrick's Dream as a level in the co-op mode that no one's gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
at least hackers can have like fun with like more playable characters.
Right. But I'm glad that it did pay off because I feel like a lot of people bought that game.
Oh yeah, I probably
I-
sold well. I have to because it's
I
both
s-
a nostalgia
I
game
certainly
and it's a SpongeBob game, so I imagine it kind of had that 1-2 combo for it.
So
It-
so
It's
What?
It's very impressive. Well, not impressive, but I gotta say it's kind of like weird how history repeated itself with like the game having to deal with like a deadline from a movie. Because the same thing happened with like what was it, the movie game?
Well, that's just normal for like a movie game. Like if there's a game for a movie, it usually has that kind of deadline. SpongeBob Rehydrated was interesting in the fact that it wasn't a movie tie-in game, but it still had that
They
movie
could've released
tie-in.
that any old
Nothing to
day.
do with the movie.
Yeah.
yeah, SpongeBob is just a huge brand. Like they could have. You don't have to tie it in with anything else. But yeah, it paid off. Thankfully.
I
And they
think
trust those devs.
I think the reactions to both SpongeBob Rehydrated and Nick All-Star Brawl kind of internally changed things at Nick in terms of like their licensed games because they're the only like kind of kids studio network doing console releases now, like full actual games.
All right.
It's because Cartoon Network doesn't. I guess Multiverses has Finn and Jake and Steven and Garden in it, but that's really it.
It's like barely a Cartoon Network game. It's like
Yeah.
Cartoon Network adjacent.
And then Disney doesn't have anything. But Nick has
Okay.
SpongeBob Rehydrated, Nick All-Star Brawl. There's a Nick Kart game coming out. There's like 300 TMNT games coming out. They make like a new one every week, I think. That's not true. There's only like 2 right now. One of them's a collection, but there's another one coming out apparently. Nick is a lot more interested, I think, the gaming world than I think a lot of other kind of similar networks are. And I'm glad because I don't know if this is a hot take. I kind of rather kids play like games that are maybe like a 7 out of 10, 6 to 7 out of 10, right? Like, I'm sure Cosmic Shake isn't gonna blow any minds, but I'd rather kids kind of play something like that than like SpongeBob Endless Runner Gacha video game, right?
Yeah.
I kind of think that's
Yeah.
a bit healthier.
Now my
Probably.
question is, when are we getting another Nicktoons Unite game? It's time. It's high time.
I know.
Once Nick secures Timmy Turner's video game rights,
We'll
They
we'll
can't
get
do it
our
without Timmy Turner, surprisingly.
It just
we'll
just,
get our
leave out Timmy.
multiplayer.
We don't need Timmy. He's fine.
Honestly-
He'll be fine.
He's homophobic.
you could just replace Timmy with Jenny or something. It's fine.
Do those rights apply issues apply to Roy and Viv?
Who?
Roy and Viv?
Oh, from Barely Otter?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you
I
imagine-
forgot that
Can you imagine like
it
a,
existed.
Can you imagine Nicktoons Unite like a new one and SpongeBob's like, oh, the gang's all here. Me, Danny, Jimmy, and Roy and Viv.
But they can't use Cosmo and Wanda, so Roy and Viv are just like a
No.
team up.
Yeah.
uh
No, if you're not aware, Timmy Turner, Fairly Odd Parents in general, seems to have right now have kind of a weird thing with its rights. I'm not sure of the full story, but the basic rundown is Timmy Turner seems to be a-okay for things like mobile games and like the Roblox thing, but like full console releases, he doesn't seem to be okay with like appearing in.
he's against that.
He's
he
ag-
doesn't
Yeah.
he's spoken out. But anyway, there's a new SpongeBob game. And there's some neat things about it. I think there was like these they've said like the writing team is actually from the show.
Mhm.
And it's going to be like focused on like the dialogue based humor of the early seasons.
Do you think there's gonna be any hillbillies slime? Well, there's slime monsters. I don't need to ask that. Hillbillies, slime
Right.
monsters, and what is it like? Greasers? Do you think there's gonna be greasers in this game?
Yeah. There's got to be like a 50s like greaser world, right?
SpongeBob's 3 favorite things.
Yeah.
Race.
Definitely hillbillies. I feel like there's got to be something like that, like SpongeBob, like a Farmer Bob world. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I've never played any of those SpongeBob games, but I guess I was kind of taken aback by just like it straight up does just look like a pretty direct follow up to Battle for a Bikini Bottom. Like it has a lot of the same mechanics and like structure
Right.
of it.
It's like the sequel that it never got, barring the movie game, because that's kind of a sequel.
Right. They added a dodge roll, which I think is funny.
That
That's
immediately
true.
makes your game better if you add a dodge
Yeah.
roll.
I
It does not
remember
matter what type of game.
I remember
Oh,
Germa
Kirby
was
has
playing.
dodge roll.
He does. I remember Germa was playing Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I distinctly remember him saying that like he kept thinking the game had a dodge roll, and he wished it did. So
They listened.
They listened.
Purple Lamp
You
Studios
know,
listened.
this is proof that if we as the fans come together and let these developers know how we feel, then we have a voice in the industry and we can get what we want.
I don't know what that is.
I'm glad we
I
moved
don't know
on
what that
from
is.
French Sonic tuber to French SpongeBob game tuber.
Yeah, I don't know. We the fans, Yeah.
You're trying to say that, Rosa?
I was gonna say, Steve, how do you just manage to make you make up a guy that probably exists?
I don't know. It's because I think I got. I'm thinking of. I don't know if this is a real video. I think I'm thinking of when X-Men Origins Wolverine was coming out, and Hugh Jackman was doing like press junket videos. In my head, there's like a video of Hugh Jackman going like, the fans are so passionate. None of this could happen without the fans. It's all about the fans. Like talking. I don't know if that actually exists, but that's what is in my head whenever I do that voice. So there you go. I don't know if that's like. I think Hugh Jackman's like Australian, but I don't even know if that's Australian. That might be like New Zealand, borderline New Zealand. I'm not very good.
I would like
It sounded pretty Australian to me.
Okay.
Steve's
Okay.
Australian accent is stronger than mine. That's from my Australian friend Vivian.
Good to know.
Here's the thing. I said this earlier. A lot of these licensed games aren't always super amazing. Like sometimes you when I say super amazing, like they're usually good. Like they're okay or good. But they're not like blowing your mind. But like sometimes you get like a rare one, like that recent TMNT one is like really good. I like them though. I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for games like those, and I'm glad like Nick is like carrying the mantle on them.
Yes.
I don't know. I think mobile games rarely ever strike that same like fun to me.
Because you're a crotchety old person who didn't grow up owning an iPhone at age 6.
Yep.
All right.
They should get the Wu-Tang Clan for a SpongeBob game. That's the best idea I've heard ever, I think.
I'm gonna email
I mean-
Cartoon. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, they could. They would. They should. They should get the Insane Clown Posse to do a SpongeBob game.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to see that.
They should get Baby Metal on SpongeBob.
True. Okay, these are just the best ideas I've ever heard in my life. Keep them coming.
They should
Um,
add in Chucky Finster.
Chucky
What was that
Finster-
band on
Alright,
Nintendo
no,
Video?
I've had enough. No Chucky Finster right now.
Hey, can we get that live monkey reaction?
let me send you the image.
What?
Hold on. It's
Live
from my
Chucky
my
reaction?
Rugrats Royal Ransom stream.
I can't believe I missed that.
I'm gonna email Cartoon Network, let them know they should make an Adventure Time 3D platformer with a real budget of $1,000 million.
If there were Adventure Time is so like prime for like a universe that doesn't exist, where like licensed tie-in games get like 5 years of development and like $30,000.
right.
Imagine that for Adventure Time. 'Cause
Adventure-
There's just so many So many places.
Adventure Time probably got more games than like the average like cartoon, but like I think only like one of them is super kind of like regarded, and that's like the first one. The other ones are generally considered kind of okay at most. But I'm like, I think like an Adventure Time game that's like a real game, like it's like a lot of time and budget, like that would be epic.
Yeah, imagine like a giant, like
Breath of the Wild size, map of the land of Ooh, where you can go anywhere and do whatever you want, and you can rescue people, and you can go inside the Candy Kingdom.
I remember the OKKO. Oh my god.
The monkey's so big.
Oh, that's right.
I remember
OKKO.
the
Yeah, you go on.
I was gonna say I remember OKKO got like a beat 'em up on the phones.
Because OKKO, the way it started, was kind of as like a. It's weird. OKKO got like 5 things before it got a cartoon. It got a bunch of shorts. It got a full like beat 'em up game on like iPad, and then they made the show.
Yeah.
right.
I feel like it's sort of fitting that it gets a beat 'em up game before it actually gets a series. That just sounds like an OKKO thing to me.
I
So
guess
you could say that it's based on the video game.
I guess to some extent it kind of makes sense. Because OKKO was supposed to be like a headliner thing for HBO Max until stuff happened. And HBO Max got delayed. I imagine OKKO was going to be like a big like kind of multimedia push for Cartoon Network. And it didn't really pan out that way. And then they advertised the show badly and didn't put it in a good whatever. That story's been told
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah.
The only episode of OKKO I've ever seen is the.
Gee,
Sonic
I wonder which
episode.
one it's going to be.
Yeah, I wonder which one. I wonder which episode Will at Sonic Forces on Twitter watched.
Yeah.
I like the episodes where the characters were designed and recorded by like the one lesbian comic artist.
She draws them
Is
round
it-
and cute.
There's like a lesbian OKKO style. I'll have to go back.
That's just a normal style.
Yeah, OKKO, one of my favorite parts of that show that I think some people don't like that I do is you could tell like when like a storyboarder is like doing an episode because they kind of let people really apply their own style to it. And I know the person Rose is talking about. She does like almost all the Red Action episodes, pretty much. It's Mira. I forget her last name. I know her first name. She does like all the Red Action episodes, and she tends to draw the characters a bit rounder and cuter, and that's how you could identify it's her drawing them.
Uh-huh.
Miron Chu.
Yeah,
I
her.
think that was her name. Yeah, I have one of her comics. It was called "We Drag Our Manager into Our Girl Group." Rose. I can't read this one.
Do you want to get are you far away from your mic right now?
Ah, yes.
There we go.
Rose Parade. We drag our manager into our girl group. Rose/Parade. Parade. I can't read this. I'm bad at reading.
What does it say?
For sure the title was "We Drag Our Manager into Our Girl Group."
A girl roof?
Girl
Group.
group.
Girl group.
Yeah.
Is that a girl thing? Do y'all have girl groups?
Yeah, and you're not allowed in. No boys, only girls.
Yeah,
Wait.
So a few more small things before we talk about that hedgehog. Bee and Puppy Cat got its official release date for September 6th,
Yeah.
so it's only 4 days from now.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about that we didn't talk about last week, but it's good it has a date. We can officially confirm that show is coming out.
Coming out soon.
Oh, and you can watch an episode of it on YouTube.
Ooh.
Like they released one from Netflix.
Ooh. Awesome. Okay, and a few more small things. Rosa wrote here, I don't think this is a news piece. I think it's more a threat. Rosa wrote, and I quote, "Lucky Star did not stay dead."
Is that true?
Yeah. Yes, so apparently Lucky Star is coming back.
Let's get Daz Reviews to make a thumbnail about that.
It's not dead. It's coming back. That little cretin Kanata is alive.
I can't wait for the
She's
theme
coming
song.
back.
I can't wait for
And
the
it's-
theme song where the Out of Touch Wednesday girls go, "What?
Wednesday?
Our careers have made comebacks." And they come out of the grave and they start shaking their heads at the contracts. Anyway, go on, Rosa.
It's so funny because, like, at the same, like, we're in a year where both Nichijou and Lucky Star came back.
The
What's next?
the Azumanga Daioh reboot coming out any day now.
Yeah.
That's never
Yeah.
happening. That guy's never working anime ever again. They're never getting another Azumanga Daioh anime.
Well,
Oh,
no, well, maybe another anniversary manga because like it's coming back on like.
That's
manga
true.
for Lucky Star.
Yeah, there could be another Azumanga Daioh manga. But the creator of Azumanga Daioh and Yobotsu and he infamously had an awful time working on the anime, and he doesn't want to do one ever again. And that's why there's never been one for Yatsuba and.
Yeah, the only thing they got out of that was the little Dambo tiger, which is like the little box creature, the little box.
That's funny. That thing is like so famous. Like I knew about that before I even know about like anything else that guy worked on.
Yeah, and it's so surreal because like because of that, that's the only instance of like Yachiba and.
Sorry about that, everyone. I clicked that intro while trying to do something to it.
How long have you been doing that?
I
How
was
long
like-
has it
it
been
was
on
like
that?
2 seconds.
Okay, we're off the air for 2 seconds.
We're back.
Okay.
Welcome to the new episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I noticed
This episode,
the quality
whatever.
was fluctuating. I was gonna get rid of the intro real quick, but I clicked on it by accident.
Best episode you've ever seen.
I didn't do it
Jason
again,
Griffith's
sorry,
gonna
everyone.
be there.
Okay, that's the last time it's gonna happen. Yeah, so beware, everyone.
God.
Whether you like it or not, Lucky Star is coming back. Be scared.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
She's coming up. She's coming up. I never watched that show, so I don't really have anything to
I
say
don't know
about
anything about it. All I know about it is that they made AMVs about it on the internet. That's all I know
Nana-
about it.
I gotta say, Kanata is like a character that lives outside beyond her series. She's those
What?
kind of characters. How do you explain?
Okay. Transcendent.
Yeah,
I
Transgender.
know Lucky Star from being on YouTube in 2008 and going on YouTube and looking up Smash Bros anime, and there'd just be like videos like stolen Pivx fan art of like Smash Bros characters traced over like Lucky Star
Lucky
characters,
Star.
and that's how I know what Lucky Star is.
It's not a
Okay.
bad way to be introduced.
We've got a pretty big piece of news here.
Oh yeah, okay. I think you hear the hype police outside, because we have some big news.
Oh my god!
So Nintendo continues to be in shambles. They're clenching their fists in just absolute rage at how they fucked up their platform fighter because they didn't get this character. Gizmo Bros, bring it in. Gizmo from Gremlins is coming to Multiverses this Thursday.
Let's
Yes.
go.
It's
That-
Gizmo time.
This is huge.
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of a funny. What? This is a weird announcement because like they just announced this character like probably like 3 days ago,
Yeah.
and it's just already coming like less than a week from now.
Multiverses character reveals are odd. I'll just say that.
This guy is weird
I
as
still
heck.
remember the,
Why we-
Velma reveal.
Why do we just like kind of know Black Adam is in the game, but like that's it? It's like such a weird thing to do. Is is the game out yet? Is it real?
They've been so weird with character announcements for this game. They announced Rick, Morty, and LeBron at Comic-Con, and then LeBron got a trailer the same day and came out. Then Morty came out like 2 weeks into season 1, and he had a trailer the same day he was announced. So people were playing as Morty before his trailer even dropped. Then the Black Adam and Stripe were added to the main menu to announce they were going to be in the game, but they're still not in the game, and that happened like 2 weeks ago. And now Gizmo got announced, and now he's coming before either of any character that's been announced before him. I don't know how character announcements for this game work at all.
But then
There's-
again, remember this is Warner Brothers.
It's fair.
I wonder if the development process is just a little hectic because they also they like said Gizmo was going to be on Tuesday, but then like a day later they're like Thursday actually.
Yeah, they had to do that to Morty too. They had to like delay him like 2 days also.
I don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, it's funny that they like delayed the character like the literal day after they announced it. It's like
Yeah,
I have to imagine the best I can assume is there's some like not great communication between like development and like marketing. Like maybe Gizmo actually needed like an extra day, and that wasn't communicated fast enough to like get it out to like the marketing team. So like literally the next day, like, oh, we had to delay this character by 2 days.
I wouldn't be surprised with the way like Warner Bros is right now.
Yeah.
If that was like
People
a
have got their
problem.
hands full, I guess. But yeah, so I'm excited to see Gizmo in action. He's his own character. He's not tied to any other Gremlins characters, which means this is gonna have we're gonna have a roster. I wonder if we'll have a roster that is at a point where there's as many Gremlins characters as there are Adventure Time characters, even if just for like a moment in time.
That's true. Yeah,
There's gonna be more Gremlins characters than Game of Thrones characters.
I mean, that just
Play
makes
a role in
sense.
this
That way.
game.
I think it
Yeah.
should say that way.
Honestly, yeah. But yeah,
I did learn something interesting about like multiverses characters related to like a character that gets requested a lot. This is gonna sound insane, but it gives some interesting insight to like how characters get picked for that game. So if you're not aware, a highly demanded character for multiverses is Walter White from Breaking Bad. And the person who originally leaked the game, like the original leaker for the game, kind of came forward recently and talked a bit about that. And he basically said, set your expectations low for that ever happening, because
No.
when selecting characters in this game, like they can put adult characters in who are easy to remove from, like the context of like being an adult thing, right? So like Arya Stark, like you can remove all the sex and like blood and violence from that character and just make her a fantasy character super easily, right? Like it's super easy to do that. You can remove Rick pretty easily from like his context. Like he just needs to be like a wacky scientist who's a bit of a meanie bobini. I don't know. He's pretty easy to like remove from his context. But Walter White, like moveset wise, would be impossible to remove from the context of being like a meth of like a drug lord. You
Watch
could-
out for Walter White's wacky meth attack.
And what this person says, like, well, this would be impossible to do because you have to get permission from like the people who like have the Adventure Time rights, right? And like they would have to like approve like Finn and Jake sitting next to Walter White making meth. Like they would have to approve that, and then like LeBron James as State would also have to approve like hit LeBron and like Gizmo fighting Walter White's meth lab as a stage. Like there'd be so much like. There'd be so much to jump through, like in terms of like getting like approval from like all the different rights holders in this game, so it'd just be impossible. So my solution is, I think Walter White's off the table, but Mr. Saul Goodman, you got nothing to move from him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just make him like a Phoenix Wright type character.
Yeah.
Like lawyer stuff.
you could even have his as he appears in Slippin' Jimmy. You know?
Oh,
You have
true.
Of course.
Yeah, you have a move where he releases the squirrels.
And if they're doing like the Breaking Bad verse, they definitely got to make the stage Los Pollos Hermanos.
Of
Oh,
course.
I want that so
Yeah.
bad.
Look, bro, now.
I got to that on my watch like the other day. Like I got to when you first go to that, and Gus showed up, and I think it's I don't want to like derail anything, but I think it's so funny. His actor, like he's like nerd mode, right? Where he's like disguising what he really is. He sounds like such a dweeb, and then he like enters like what he actually is mode. It's like, oh,
Yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
What was that noise?
just oh,
Los pollos, los bronas hormones, los bronas sonanes, los bronas hormones.
Pronouns Hernandez.
Yeah. I'm
Like that.
yeah. So I doubt Walter White's getting in this game. I'm just gonna say that right now. But you know,
Yeah.
never give up hope on Saul Goodman. He'll come. I promise.
That's the sort of thing I didn't even think of. But like when it's laid out like that, like, oh yeah, they probably wouldn't be okay with like a character like associated with like meth.
right.
Like that's a huge no.
Because characters can swear in this game, but it's locked behind like a on and off switch, and it's turned off by default. And like a kid would have to find that. And I think swearing is generally, I think, something people care less and less about now. So like if a mom heard like Batman say "damn," she'd probably care a little less than like Walter White rating meth
Yeah.
next to. It's like
Hear me out. Hear me out. Just remove all meth references. Just make it all chemistry. Chemistry-based character.
Yeah,
He'll be-
well, everyone else.
Season 1, Walter White before he becomes a meth cook, and he's just a teacher.
Yeah, make a generic teacher character.
I-
Yeah.
I just like we know like I think based on some leaks that it's very likely like Craig of the Creek is gonna be in this game. That's like one of Cartoon Network's like top like kids brands, and I imagine we're like, you can't put Walter White next to that kid.
Yeah.
Like the rights holders like, you can't do that.
It's a shame.
Saul Goodman though, he's coming.
Yeah, Saul
I
Goodman.
feel it.
I have a theory about this game. Before we move on.
Yes.
So when this game was first leaked, it was just Rick. And we assumed it was just going to be Rick, but we learned later that Morty was coming too. And it was kind of surprised that, like, 'cause Morty doesn't have a ton of, like, moveset potential on his own. I feel like even in game, if we're being frank, a lot of his moveset is stuff Rick could do. Anyway, I have a theory. Hi, Rosa, I hear you saying Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Rick,
Morty.
Rick,
Rick,
Morty, Morty. I have a theory because Warner Bros is like distributor for Mob Psycho 100, the anime. I think when they are. I think if they add Mob to the game, I think they're gonna add Reagan too. I think he's gonna be his own character.
That would be the most hype thing of all time.
And I need them. If there's any multiverses developers in chat right now, I need you to take this idea, and if you want people to lose their mind and like clip your game and like GIF it and put it everywhere, you need to give Reagan a hip check attack. He needs to use like his ass as an attack in some way.
like a peach side B attack.
People will lose their mind. You have the power in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, make him slutty.
Exactly.
Warner Bros. In terms of anime they're connected to, I think the three most notable are JoJo, Mob, and Izuken, are like the three.
All right, well, JoJo's definitely gonna get it.
Oh, imagine a JoJo character.
Which JoJo?
All of them. They're gonna put every JoJo character in the game. They're gonna rebrand it to JoJo All-Star Battle 2.
Tutti Fruities.
Probably Joseph, right? He's the kind of iconic one, right? I'm not wrong about that.
Jotaro.
Jotaro,
Someone's
sorry.
pointing this out.
Probably...
Didn't we have the creator of Multiverses on this podcast? We could just ask him.
Oh, Niall?
Right?
Yeah, let's go ask Niall.
Yeah.
Let me call his phone right now.
So I imagine if JoJo got in, it'd be Jotaro. He's the kind of the main guy, right? And I think Multiverses internally kind of likes to prioritize a bit of diversity, and also this is the most recent anime, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did Jolene as the second one.
That'd be cool.
Mhm.
If
I
only
feel
they
like people
didn't-
would probably be mad if they didn't put Dio in, though.
They could probably do like 3 JoJo characters. Let's be frank, they can get there
Yeah,
eventually.
JoJo's big enough to have 3. I would be down for that.
All right. Now that we've got this all stuff out of the way, are you ready to talk about? Are you ready for the main discussion point for today? Who's ready to talk about?
Oh yeah, comment
Oh,
right
yeah.
in. Let's go.
Who's ready to talk about Sonic Frontiers?
Oh, yeah, I
Oh.
love Sonic Frontiers.
Whoa, who are you? You're funny.
I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
You don't say, huh? Well, I happen to. I'm not doing this. Let's.
And I'm the 8-year-old they brought in to voice Tails. They paid me. They paid me in Lego Star Wars sets.
My head is spinning.
This sounds like scarily accurate to like the Sonic Adventure 2 Tales, actually.
Wow, my
um,
head is spinning.
So I think
Advanced robots.
I think the Sonic heads at the call should probably lead the charge on the discussion because you probably know more about what's specifically been announced. So go for it. Go for what's been talked about like these past 2 weeks with
shit.
Sonic Frontiers.
Eggman
Well-
shat his pants.
Yes, that exactly. We saw more. We saw the next island, the desert themed one. I think it's called Ares Island. I think they're all going to be named after like Greek gods. Just kind of cool.
Oh yes.
We finally saw like Amy and exist in the game, like an actual cutscene. We saw. Was it the past 2 weeks? Was that when they did the like the new cinematic trailer, like the
It's
story
like the
trailer?
story. Yeah, I don't know if we talked about that really. I don't know
There's
if
a
that
lot
was
to-
out.
There's a lot to catch up on. Then there's a lot.
Yeah, I probably should have thought of like a structure to discuss this on. I just thought, like, I'll just talk about this, the stuff that happened.
This stuff sure did happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Where do we want to start? Chat. There's a lot of information. I guess generally, just talk about the game. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
We've
I'm
been
inclined to
seeing
agree.
a lot more of it now. It's funny how we always talk about this, like just the difference in reception to the game now as opposed to like a few months ago, even.
Yeah, they fumbled the bag hard on the initial reveal. It's like it's been so funny because that was like when it first dropped, when the first video dropped, everyone was like, "Wow, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be like worse than Sonic 06." But now everyone is like, "Wait, this game actually looks good."
Do you remember that image someone made of like, it was like, the fans once again have shown up Sonic Team. It was like comparing Sonic Origins and Sonic Frontiers before either game came out. Did anyone see that? I'm just thinking about that
feel
image
I've
right
seen
now.
Several images like that. The Sonic
Yeah.
fans do that all the time.
Oh, the fans have outdone Sonic Team for these games I've never played. But yeah, it's been looking better and better. Geez, I don't even know what to talk about. Honestly,
I can start. Sonic looks a lot nicer to control than I was expecting. Like the turning, like I've always thought that boost formula-esque gameplay would not work very well in an open environment, but it almost feels like they took the essence of what made boost work and made it work better in like a more like free-flowing open environment. Like Sonic looks like he turns very smoothly, but not like sharp enough for it to be a problem. It's like you just have just the right amount of control. There's also
Yeah.
like sliders to choose exactly how you want Sonic to control, which I thought was interesting.
those sliders are insane. I'm telling you, right? If you play this game and you touch those sliders, you're a loser. You're like a nerd.
What? Me?
Yeah.
It's
Really? Yeah.
Oh, the momentum is a little
Sorry.
bit touchy. I want to let me tweak this a little bit. Bing, bing. Is this right? Let's
Can't believe
see.
it.
How about I
Only
adjust
Wee
the
Wee baby.
turning? I'd like the acceleration to be about 3%
Why
less
you-
precise,
Why
please.
are you talking of like I'm like a Looney Tunes character who's like the nerd dork character who thinks he's smarter than Bugs Bunny and gets outsmarted
Because-
by him eventually? And
I'm just
and I'm like-
joking,
and
but
I'm
it's
like
just it's
2
just
feet tall and I have like huge glasses and I like walk like Marvin the Martian.
it's just funny that like it's they clearly did that in reception to like fans being really like picky and choosy about like
Oh,
how
right, yeah.
Sonic should control. So they're just like, here's your freaking sliders, you make it. Yeah, if it's
honestly,
so easy.
It's a pretty. I think it's a pretty thoughtful addition because everyone is going to have a different idea of how Sonic should control. So it's like,
Right.
you know what?
Yeah, they
Just
should
let people
personalize-
choose how they want him to control.
Let them personalize their Sonic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every copy of Sonic Frontiers is personalized.
I think as a kind of an outsider who gets forced this Discord down my throat whether I like it or not because Twitter keeps recommending me Sonic Discourse posts and I can't escape it no matter how hard I try. I know this is kind of like a thing people get mad about if you point it out, but I do think truly and utterly, I think so many different people have so many different ideas of like what Sonic is in terms of like tone, story, gameplay. I think having some sort of control over that, like at least like control wise, I think will probably go a long way in like calming that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's like with so many different branches of like the Sonic IP. Like we have classic Sonic, we've got Adventure Sonic, we've got Boost Sonic, we've got like Sonic Rush Sonic, Sonic Advance. There's so many different takes on Sonic that there's never going to be like one agreed upon idea of what Sonic is going to be.
Yeah.
It's sort of the hole that Sonic Team dug themselves into.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I got one proposition of what the idea of Sonic is.
I'm gonna
Uh,
lay it on me.
Yeah.
It
I
goes
guess so.
fast,
Okay.
and everyone's gay.
True.
Or
That is-
bisexual,
Yeah, Eggman's
Eggman.
bisexual.
Hello,
Yeah.
Hedgehog. I'm bisexual.
Whoa, he's bisexual. I didn't know that.
Give me 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna stop the stream, then restart it to try to fix the bitrate real quick.
Moving.
We're all
sorry.
Well, you're having it for 1
me
second.
either.
Sometimes the bitrate just fucks up out of nowhere, and I hate it.
Are we live?
It
I believe-
started It started dying after you added the monkey. I wonder
Maybe
if you
the-
should remove
Maybe the monkey is the key.
Get rid of the monkey. Get this
Okay.
Rugrats monkey out of my face.
Jar Jar's the key to all that.
What if we like lower the quality of the monkey?
Okay, I just got rid of it. It's fine.
Bit crunch the monkey.
All right, we're back. Keep going.
We have to tell it for to refresh.
Everyone, oh,
They can't hear you.
it didn't even fix the bit rate when I refreshed it or I got rid of the monkey. Oh well.
Okay.
I just accept at this point. I've done everything in my power to fix the bit rate, and it will never fix it, no matter how many tutorials I follow.
Oh my god.
How many things I follow. It's always gonna be broken for some reason. I don't even know at this point. No, every test I do when it's fine the night before, and right when I start actually streaming, it's gonna fuck up somehow. Oh well. Okay, keep going.
What did they? What did they show? They showed the box art. I guess we could talk a little bit about what was it? When did they reveal? Like that was after like the story trailer where they like showed like the box art and like the pre-order stuff.
I think
Right.
that was actually a little bit before. Like they released the like box art, but they didn't say it was the box art. They were like, check out this render that
yeah.
we have.
I'm just talking about when they showed off like that it was the box art.
Okay, yeah, that was
Um,
probably closer to the story trailer then.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember they like posted this art on I don't know, somewhere. Some like journal website, game journalism website or something. And it looked so good that a lot of people like questioned if it was real.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. And that's apparently the actual box art of the game. Which is pretty cool. I think that's probably I mean, I don't know how big a talking point Sonic box art is. I think that's some pretty good box art.
It's got a lot of personality to it.
Yeah, I like the. You just see, it's just got it's very focused. You see this character, he's grinding, and you see the world behind him. It looks very fun, looks very cool. And yeah, game looks
Hold on,
cool.
I actually want to address something in chat. Takashi Iizuka specifically asked the writers for IDW to keep Vanilla and Vector, or like Vector having a crush on Vanilla canon. So we will still get that regardless of Sega
Is that
being
true?
selfish of relationships. Yeah, no, it's true.
So, kind of infamously, Sonic Team like specifically vetoed Tangle and Whisper not because they're gay, but because they don't want to touch relationships anymore. Because like Archie was kind of a mess. But they specifically want Vector and Vanilla to still be a thing. That's the one they're still okay with.
What?
Yeah,
Does
it
Vanilla?
wasn't that Ian Flynn or any of the writing staff asked. They were like, Sega asked them to include Vector having a crush on Vanilla.
Does Vanilla even appear in anything anymore?
The comics, but that's about it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, she's in the pretty much
All
everyone
right.
is in the comics from like game canon.
Uh-huh. Cool. We've been getting information. I wish I I so wish I like wrote down chronologically the stuff that came out about this game. But we've been learning stuff bit by bit. One of the things we learned is that Sonic Frontiers will not be having what? Oh god.
What?
I don't know what I was going to talk about. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This is so fun. I'm ruining the Sonic segment of our Sonic themed podcast. I'm ruining it, everybody.
We can talk
The
about
game's not gonna have Cream the Rabbit. It's not gonna have Cream in it.
It's not gonna have Shadow either.
It's not gonna have Shadow.
yeah.
Shadow is deconfirmed.
The only characters who are going to be in this one who are kind of like characters who've existed before are Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Eggman, and the six of these characters is Big the Cat is going to be in this one.
I'm so unironically happy that Big the Cat is in the game. I'm just like the fact that they're not afraid to use Big the Cat in a big mainline game anymore makes me so happy.
People like Big.
People do like Big.
I said this about Big. I think he's an important character to have in Sonic, because besides like kind of a main group of like Sonic, Tails, Amy, and sometimes Knuckles, who's a bit more specific. I think a lot of Sonic characters are very specific in terms of like their existence, right? Like Blaze is from another dimension, Silver's from the future, Shadow, he's all fucked up. they got a lot of just very specific characters who you need to have like a very specific plot reason for them to show up. What I think is good about Big is he's kind of just adaptable, right? Like, he can just always kind of be around.
Mhm.
Spider. He's just a
Yeah.
friend.
He just teleports around.
He doesn't
like
need
Sonic
context.
Adventure
I wonder if they'll even explain why he's in this game.
It'd be funny if they didn't.
I would be really happy if they didn't. Just like how they don't explain at all any of his cameos in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, I think that'd be cute.
I think one thing to talk about that I could actually care about, because you know, even though I'm a casual Sonic fan, I care about stuff like this. Roger Craig Smith's voice acting in this game. We haven't heard a ton of it, but like people literally brought their mics to record just the audio at these demos. People want to hear it so bad. Roger Craig Smith is doing kind of a different Sonic voice for this. It is the first Sonic. It is the first Sonic game he's been in where there's not Happy Tree Friends writers writing for him. He's given a script that isn't a bit more heavy on the jokes, I want to say, and I not even that.
This game has a bit more of a somber, story-driven tone to it.
Right.
And this current Sonic voice actor hasn't really had a game like that.
Mhm.
When I first heard like how he sounds in this game, it like threw me off like a lot.
Yeah, I needed a second to like process it.
Yeah.
It's really different. It's like as if like they recasted him, but they didn't. You know, like it seems like they told him like just do something completely just like different.
I always kind of knew he was capable of this. I think a lot of gonna sound mean. I think a lot of Sonic fans are very boxed in to what they like. They like Sonic, and they don't. I think some Sonic fans don't explore other media a ton. And as someone who does, Roger Craig Smith is a very talented voice actor. He can do many voices. I know this. He's in a lot of things. I think people let kind of Sonic's awkward voice direction paint a picture of him that doesn't actually exist. And I'm glad with this. People are like, oh shit, he can always do this.
He can be raw.
He is very talented, and I'm excited to see him like actually have decent material to work with for once with Ian Flynn's writing.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I honestly just want to hear more. I feel like they're like purposefully withhold this sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe it's like a marketing thing where they feel like people don't like when Sonic talks, like they don't want to scare people off. But yeah, we haven't heard a lot of him talking, so I hope to hear more of that at least before the game releases.
I'm thinking this is going to be the game where like public opinion of Roger Craig Smith as a Sonic voice actor sort of turns around, because we're finally going to hear him like, speak actual lines written by people who care about Sonic.
That's not a good sign for if. They're starting to like it.
We gotta get rid of it now.
Yeah,
I think a lot of discussion around Roger's performance as Sonic, I think, was kind of unfair, especially now, because I think people forget Jason Griffith's Sonic, as it got good at the end. I think people forget a lot of his early Sonic isn't very good. It's kind of like, and that's not his fault. I think a lot of it was direction. I don't want to blame him for it. I think he got some very bad voice direction. He kind of spoke at one kind of level for a lot of his readings.
I think a lot of his early performances were too focused on like trying to sound like the previous voice actor. So you get stuff like then you started getting like Sonic Unleashed. Is where people usually say that like he's actually really good. He's actually clean. My Sonic. He's my Sonic.
Yeah, around like Black Knight and Unleashed is where he kind of got the character. I think this is kind of Roger's moment for that. Like, oh, he's getting the character. I think like Jason, I think it just took a while for like some decent writing and voice direction to come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and you know I hope, I hope he sticks around if he wants to. I mean, because it took me a few listens of it, but I'm because he's been with his voice Sonic in so many things, like
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, he was in both of the Wreck-It Ralph movies. He's been in like cartoons. He did the whole Sonic Boom show. He was in OKKO. He's voiced Sonic in like commercials. I'm pretty sure he voiced him at like a hotel.
Check out
He's
the
done a lot.
consoles.
Voiced him in Puyo Puyo Tetris too.
Yeah, he's voiced Sonic in like just like sort of like live like improvised like just sort of voice actor riffing things
Yeah.
on Twitter. He's done a lot. So
For me, like Roger Craig Smith has become sort of synonymous with Sonic in the way that Mike Pollock has become synonymous with Eggman.
Mhm.
mhm. Yeah, I think I feel like that too. You know.
Right. I'm glad he's getting to able to like do a performance like this. 'Cause I kind of always like for a long time just kind of thought a lot of Sonic fans who are in that kind of Sonic bubble and don't really explore outside of it were kind of giving him a bit of a bad name. Bless any Sonic voice actor who's on Twitter. You guys are like
Oh yeah,
in the trenches of people who don't know how to behave normally.
yeah, Mike Pollock's like replies to Sonic fans are some of the funniest things to read ever.
Yeah.
People tweet like the weirdest things, and he just sort of rolls with it.
It's like, yep.
And he has to constantly remind people that he is not actually Eggman.
Mhm.
I'm not Eggman, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll play. Hopefully, Sonic Frontiers. It's gonna be a long game. They've said it's gonna be like 30 freaking hours.
Yeah, that is
Um,
much longer than we're used to for Sonic games.
So I
Especially
assume
modern
Well,
ones.
that's gonna be enough time for me to not hear him as Belson from Clarence.
Yeah, that's gonna be my biggest curse. I can't play this because I'm gonna start up the game. And he's gonna do like an intonation, like just sound like Belson for like one line, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, because his voice is this time around. Like before, he was more like high energy, and
Mhm.
here he's more like somber. Not somber. He's like mellow. He's very soft and mellow compared to a lot of his previous roles. And it sounds closer to Belson from Clarence than Sonic ever has.
I feel like I'm blessed in the fact that I've never seen a single episode of Clarence, so I don't know what this character sounds like. So it will never be like, oh, I can't hear Sonic
He's kind of
without
like
hearing this character.
he's kind of like, come on, Clarence. I don't know.
Oh, Clarence, jeez, I'm trying to play my game, buddy. Something like that. We should get him on this show. Talk about Clarence.
Let's get Roger Craig Smith on and refuse to talk about Sonic.
Yeah.
God, Rosa.
That'd be
What
great.
acknowledge it.
I was
We
gonna
should talk about
say,
his prolific Assassin's Creed career.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear Belson's voice for a moment, and then I found a clip of Clarence saying Pippi.
What?
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, I'm in Pibby. Did we talk about Pibby at all when Spencer Rothwell was on here?
I think that was a no.
Was that pre-Pibby?
That was pre-Pibby.
Really?
Yeah, that was when Pippi was a fetus.
Wow. Well, we
The
gotta
fact
have
that
him on
there's, like,
again.
a Pre-Pibby era is just mind-boggling. to
Oh,
me.
it's
It's like
messing me
Pibby
up.
feels like it's existed forever now in my head because of just how many like memes have spouted from Pibby's existence.
Feel old yet? The pre-Pibby era was 5 years ago.
Yeah, historians are gonna start like documenting different eras of humanity. There's like pre-Pibby and post-Pibby.
Right.
Yeah. Back on Sonic though. I'm excited to
Yes,
see
sorry.
everyone's performance in general. I think Tails' voice actor, Colleen, I'm glad she got to be in the movie. First of all,
Yeah.
I think that was
She's
big.
like an
Great job in the
all-star.
movie.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I think like Ben Schwartz in particular kept making sure to put a huge emphasis on like the fact she was in the movie, like giving a lot of credit to her, which is good because I think a lot of times, we saw with like Space Jam, voice actors for these characters tend to like who aren't celebrities tend to get shafted in the marketing. I think they were really good about like making sure she got a lot of credit.
Yeah.
He
And-
seemed like thrilled to be working alongside her. It was really cute.
Yeah. I was glad about that. So I'm pretty sure she's in this one. They haven't said that she stopped or anything.
I'm sure she is.
There was that scare like a year ago where we
Right.
thought like everyone was just being thrown down the toilet, but I'm pretty sure like Amy's voice actress like is still on.
Yeah,
Um,
I really hope so because I didn't like Cindy Robinson when she first started in like Generations and Freeriders, but like post Boom, I feel like she really got into like a groove with the character.
Yeah, I think she's also like someone who did the sort of thing where like it started as like an impression before becoming more of a natural sort of embodiment
Right.
of her personality.
I feel like that happens with a lot of like Sonic voice actors specifically. Like Ryan Drummond started out really rough with like Sonic Adventure, but then progressively got better, and then his
I
best performance was in Heroes, and it was just gone.
bless Ryan Drummond because he worked like when like I think voice direction and localization for Sonic was really awkward because they had like Japanese people trying to direct English voice actors, and it
I mean,
was
just-
always
just like
so
they-
weird.
Just like video games in general. That
Yeah.
was like really early. And
And they
voice
like
acting.
insisted that Tails had to be voiced by a child, and there was no other like possible, no other possible way to handle that.
Why did they do that? That wasn't the
I
case in
don't
like
know.
Japan, was it?
It was the case in Japan until Heroes.
It was. That's
Yeah,
weird to me because I feel like
Tails is voiced by a child in Adventure 1 and 2.
that doesn't happen in Japanese media a lot. I feel like they usually get like a woman like voice
Yeah,
actress.
I can't think of a ton of anime characters who have been voiced by like an actual kid.
Yeah,
I
that's
know there was one Precure movie.
That's right. There was one Precure movie where a kid voiced a kid, but a lot of the times they just they just get like an adult woman to do the kid characters.
to do Tara Strong. Yeah, the one I'm wondering about is Knuckles because he's like,
He's been shifted
It's-
around a lot, hasn't he?
yeah,
I
like
think,
lately he got recasted in like Team Sonic Racing.
His Team Sonic Racing voice actor tweeted that he was going to be returning for Sonic Frontiers, but he deleted the tweet.
It's interesting.
Okay. So, I mean, he probably will return. It just wasn't allowed to say that. I'm
Yeah.
imagining.
Yeah, probably. It's
Okay.
kind of sad because I really like Travis Willingham as Knuckles.
I
But
did too.
I think the new guy is good too.
Yeah, the new guy's alright. I mean, I haven't heard him a lot because I didn't really play Team Sonic Racing, but I'm sure.
He sounded like a little bit like bootleg Travis Willingham, but I'm sure with like
right.
I'm sure when he's in like a game that is like not writing off like not a spin-off game, you know.
The game
I'm
that
sure when he
matters.
has yeah, I was trying to find like a nice way of saying a game that matters, but I'm sure when he's like, he'll probably like get into his own groove with it, which I would like a lot.
And Mario
Right,
and Sonic at the Olympics, he sounds pretty good. Was he in that one too? I never play those games.
He probably was.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
whatever.
was.
Who
That
cares?
makes sense. And then Ian Flynn keeps hyping up Mike Pollock is gonna do a performance
He's
of
gonna
a
voice
lifetime.
Raw Eggman.
I 100% believe that Mike Pollock is going to absolutely pop off with Eggman. And I believe this solely because Ian Flynn, his Eggman characterization is like the most perfect characterization I have ever seen. Like he has that perfect balance of like being threatening but also really entertaining.
Mhm.
And it's going to be really exciting to see Mike Pollock like actually get to act that out.
Right. I mean, we're talking about voice actors. I think it's a good just time to, I guess, sort of talk in general about from the recent Gamescom convention. There's been a lot of like recorded just video,
Right.
a lot of the cutscenes, to sort of give an idea of the writing of the game.
Oh, I want to say one thing about voice actors real quick. The new like girl villain character is in Japanese is voiced by the person you would think would voice that character. It's Ray's voice actor from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, that is
It
exactly who I
is
would have expected.
exactly who you expected.
I'm pretty sure when they like first had like a voice clip of her in like a Japanese trailer, people were like, "Oh, it's this person," and it was like it was really obvious that it was.
All right. But yeah, we've known that Ian Flynn was like writing like the dialogue in the game. I think just doing a lot of like, I imagine like the basic story structure, was probably there, and he like fills in a lot of the blanks. Because when you make games, like the story is usually pretty heavily tied to like what the gameplay is. But yeah, we've been seeing cutscenes. And I really like some of the characterization we've been seeing. Like Sonic's lines, I think strikes a really, it has a really fun balance of like the situation, like the story is like serious, like it's taken seriously, but Sonic still kind of feels like himself. So I feel like sometimes there's the trap of like, the story is serious, so like Sonic has to be kind of like boring.
Yeah, like Sonic Forces. Like he had some funny lines in that game, but he was largely like it was almost weird how like little he actually like acknowledged the situation around him.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that, Rosa?
I was gonna say that like Sonic is like tempered. Like he sometimes he doesn't take a situation. It's like or like he he can also like be a type of character like go about a situation very nonchalantly. Like as we also from like a recent comic, it's like yeah he would do say it that way.
Mhm.
I just step aside before to go grab some food. Did you talk about that one line he kind of has that people are like freaking out about? That's like oh, it's Sonic's back. It's like what is it like? Careful, where's the fun in that?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
something
that
like
line.
that.
That's something that he would have said in like the other modern games. I don't know why people are like, "Oh, Sonic Riding is back." That's something that he would have said, like regardless.
I think it's just like the implementation. Like it's just very. It's a sort of line where it's like it's not like a joke, but it's just him sort of
Yeah.
being fun in the moment. He's making like the most of a bad situation because he's in a pretty bad situation in this game, where he's stuck in this weird world, and he's getting this weird. There's like this weird thing where whenever he rescues his friends from the cyber world, he gets like his body gets corrupted a little bit or something. So I wonder what the deal with that is. There's a lot of mystery to this story that they don't really want to reveal, which I think is pretty intriguing.
Sonic
I'm
has to
very
figure out who
excited to
wrote the
see
journals.
direction.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rosa?
to digress a little about this, did anyone else heard about like Sonic? There was like what you call it, a pre-order deal for like the Japanese version of
Oh,
Sonic
Oh
Frontiers.
yeah,
with the
Oh, with
VTuber?
the super.
the
Yeah,
Korone
Korone.
DLC.
Yeah, so she's kind of Sonic's like brand ambassador in Japan
Yeah,
now.
She is officially the Japanese brand ambassador for Sonic the Hedgehog now. Like that is official. Sega sanctioned it.
Yeah. So there's like a
they've-
special.
I
This
like
is-
I like Seep's theory, or like not theory, idea that for the localization, her little creature characters could very easily be turned into the Germo logo, like his little mess. I thought that
Yeah.
was really funny.
Oh my god, Germa Frontiers DLC. That would be clean.
What would the
No,
shoes
the-
be?
That's a great question.
Clown
I'm gonna have
shoes.
to get back to you on that one.
No, the American version of that is going to be Egoraptor, and we're going to have little.
No.
They're going to have little Game Grump heads that replace the Coco.
Please no.
Yeah.
I think like
Um.
I think they like stopped working with Aaron Hansen altogether because I remember like they did a video for like Sonic's anniversary and Aaron Hansen made like a tweet that was like, "Man, I wish I was in this video, but Sega doesn't talk to me anymore."
Yeah, I think ever since they like switched out like social media management, I think
Right, yeah.
that's probably what did it. Here's an image of the little Korone Coco.
I imagine they wanted to get someone who actually liked their games to be
Yeah.
the brand ambassador.
Yeah,
Probably
that's pretty. It's a pretty good idea all around. I think.
Yeah, no, that DLC looks interesting. It's only in Japan too. I kind of wish it was.
Well, it's
I
weird
kind of
because
wish
this VTuber is popular in America too, so I wouldn't really see any
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
not to.
Like she
And,
talks
like,
English
you have-
sometimes.
And
The
they do
thing
have,
is, like-
localized VTubers, so like VTubers for America, so that crossover with Corona, so like it's not possible.
The thing is, these DLCs are all four of them are spread across different like pre-orders on Japanese retailers. They're not
Mhm.
like available all in one bundle. It's
That
very
makes
weird.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The silver lining is even if it doesn't come to the West, modders are absolutely going to put it into the PC version like
Oh,
immediately.
yeah.
yeah, true.
Absolutely. Unless
Uh,
it's like a Splatoon situation where they had like the split world in Japan and people were just able to get it.
Oh, that's right. Splatoon has Japanese exclusive gear, and that's horrible for a game like that.
Oh yeah, that's
I remember there
that's
was-
terrible.
There was still a workaround. I remember back in the first game, they at least had like a workaround where you could like order those outfits.
Yeah, I remember getting the Squid Girl outfit in Splatoon 1, so I definitely
Yeah.
got it somehow.
Yeah, they weren't like exclusive lock to anything.
Mhm.
So like they were just like added in.
I don't remember how you got that. I had it though, so I got it.
Oh, because in Splatoon you could like order like other people's outfits.
That's right. Yeah, that was probably it.
Hmm.
So I think we should talk about there's so much to talk about this game. Kind of visually, I guess. I think again, when this game was first showed off in its very awkward way, I wasn't big on its presentation. I thought it wasn't selling me. I think a lot of the shots they chose, because it was an early build too, it made it looked weird, right? Because there was like all those like rails and grinds in the background. But I've noticed in newer footage, I feel like it gets hidden a bit more, like in shots, right? Like they're a bit better at hiding like those floating rail grinds in the background until you get like, close enough to them. I think they might have changed.
Maybe, or they might just be changing how they're showing off the game. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I think the way it works is like the rails appear like as you like progress through it. It's like
Mm.
maybe it's just like they haven't unlocked it or something. I don't really know. But yeah, I mean the game is really pretty. I know we talked about because it was announced that it was going to be on Switch.
And we're not buying it on.
Um,
I'm not buying it on Switch.
That's gonna like melt someone's Switch, guaranteed.
I mean, well, we talked about it. We talked about it looking like how is it gonna work, but I feel like they've shown footage of it. Like it looks pretty like
Yeah,
decent.
I was actually surprised at how like functional it looked. Like the frame rate seemed fine. Like
Yeah,
if you looked really closely, you could tell that the textures are lower res and there was no anti-aliasing. But like, who was gonna notice that on like?
Yeah.
Either
I
it's either like who is gonna notice that or who is going to care. Like people are going to understand that these
Right.
concessions be made for a Switch port.
Yeah,
Switch ports are kind of just a total crapshoot, right? Like sometimes you get lucky. Like the Crash 4 ports are like perfect, pretty much. Like they are like lesser than like the original version, but they work perfectly. They look great still. And then you have weirdnesses like where the SpongeBob rehydrated port was like a mess. So like it's just always a crapshoot.
Right. I feel like Sega seems to have a good enough idea of how to do it because they know a lot of people
Right.
play Sonic on Nintendo.
Yeah, it's it's funny enough, even though it's probably like the worst version of it, like in terms of like technical standpoint, the Switch version will probably sell the best.
Oh
Right.
yeah, absolutely. The Forces Switch port sold very, very well. From what I know, that was like the primary selling version of the game.
Hmm.
Well, I think it also helps that like that game goes on deal.
Yeah,
You've got Sonic Forces for like $5 every other week.
there was when I worked retail. This was like 3 years ago. I was working at like the guest service desk, and someone was doing a return, and the person working the desk was like, "Oh yeah, so why are you returning this? I'm just curious." And then they were like, "Well, it was for my kid," and they were pretty disappointed with it. And I looked over, and it was a PS4 copy of Sonic Forces, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh no!
Really? Oh. But they're like the custom character creator.
I know. I was like, that. I would have went insane over that if I was a kid and Sonic Forces came
Man.
out.
Oh, you
someone-
can't win them all.
Someone in chat is
That's true.
talking about this. The Kingdom Hearts Switch ports are insane to me. Like every time I think about that's insane to me. Like I get it for 3 at the bare minimum, but 1
Yeah.
and 2 are PS2 games. They could have made it work. Like I get it for.
They're like,
Could you explain for anyone who might not know what
So,
they did to those games?
Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3 were kind of really hyped ports for Switch. Like I want to say probably next to Persona 5, Kingdom Hearts was like the big Switch port demand. And they announced it the day Sora got. Oh, it's hype, please. They announced it the day Sora got into Smash, and people were really excited. It was then revealed they were all cloud ports, and I think at first like, oh, they're probably talking about the third game. You know, that sucks, but I understand. It turns out they were talking about all of them. All 3 are cloud versions. If you know what a cloud version is, it's that the game is being streamed to you. Like it's not like on your system. The game is being streamed to you, and it makes games like look bad, run bad. It's
You basically need a really stable internet connection to be able to play the game.
yeah,
You need an alternate port.
and it's insane because Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 in particular could so easily run on Switch. Like it's not even a question.
Yeah,
They're-
it just kind of it seems like this sort of thing where like I guess they didn't think it would be like I don't know financially viable enough to like care about it. Like
They're like-
nobody is gonna buy us. I don't know.
Their like official reasoning was so dumb. I think I remember reading this somewhere. They said it was because they were worried about like storage space, like thinking that the
Oh,
entire collection
yeah.
would take up like 80 gigabytes.
Oh, Smash Bros. Ultimate is like 700 million gigabytes. I think we could have lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I get it, but also could probably like have Nintendo help you with some like compression magic. Those guys are compression wizards. Like all of their
Yeah.
games are like 4 gigabytes.
Smash
I'm
Bros
pretty
is kind
sure-
of Smash Bros is kind of the only like Nintendo game that's like super huge. But that's also because like it literally just is super huge. I don't have that game on my Switch anymore. And I was shocked how much space I can like that cleared up. That's like the only kind of like big file size Nintendo game. But like most Nintendo games are like 2-3 gigabytes, including like the big ones.
I think the wasn't the 3D World port like smaller in size than the Wii U version, even though it had the entirety of the Bowser's Fury mode.
Yeah, Nintendo, like I'll shit on them for a lot of things, but they are compression wizards. Like they're insane.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm
64
saying. Get them
taught
the
a
help.
lot.
God, Rosa?
I was gonna say the N64 and GameCube era really forced them.
I guess that's true. They had to learn.
They force themselves to learn.
I wanted
love,
to,
like- Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I remember there was like a port of like Resident Evil 2. I can't remember. They did figure out a way to like get in cutscenes. So like, who knows? Who knows if they learned from that?
Hmm.
I can't wait to see
love
Sonic's
hearing-
file size on Switch. Go on. Sorry.
I love hearing like stories of like they ended up getting so like efficient with compression in like the Wii era that you can just get rid of like a bunch of junk data and like ISO files and have it completely run fine on like emulator.
Wow.
Like there's just like it's in some cases there's like 6 gigabytes of junk data and like 2 gigabytes of actual video game.
Oh my god.
Game size now are crazy, which makes it even funnier. Like most Nintendo games are like still like 2 gigabytes. I think like the new Call of Duty was like 100 plus gigabytes or something.
Oh yeah.
That's
I think
insane
that was
to
the
me.
multiplayer alone.
Is that just a thing where like they know like people can just buy more storage if they really want to, so they're just like, whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Maybe.
Some people theorize that they made Call of Duty that big to take up more storage space so people couldn't download competitors, but I
That's
think
really
that's a little bit too tinfoil hat for me, but that would be really funny if that were the case.
That's up there with Tracer was supposed to be the 5th Smash DLC character, then Blizzard's controversy started, so they made Byleth real quick. I love that theory. It's so bullshit, but it's so funny.
That is such shit. I love it.
Uh-huh.
Back on Sonic visuals though, because we got sidetracked about how the Switch version was gonna look.
We got hella sidetracked.
I wanted to say, I think it's kind of a discussion point, like Sonic art style. I think for me, I think even as early as like Sonic Adventures, Sonic has kind of experimented with its visual identity. I think Sonic is a lot less rigid in like what it needs to look like than a lot of other series. So I think because it's done realistic stuff like this before, like or Sonic 06 looking like shit. Sonic, Sonic and the Secret Rings and like Sonic and the Black Knight kind of have like similar art styles. I want to say to this game, and it's kind of been a look they've done before, so it wasn't too off-putting to me. I get why people. I think it wasn't winning me over at first, but I think the more we saw of the game and the more builds we saw that weren't like version 0.01, the more I kind of got what they were going for. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I understand what this game is going for visually, and I think what really sold me is when they showed that one cyberspace level that like, was like a highway. I think that's really cool looking, and I hope we get some more kind of like fun visual levels like that.
Yeah, that level looks so awesome. Like one of my favorite details is like the like street signs like repeating over themselves. Like there's like 5 layers of them. It's as if it was like a guy like struggling to understand like how signage works. I think stuff like that is really cool.
I do wish some of the other like kind of like levels were like that. Like I wish they kind of remix, like if Green Hill Zone was gonna have to come back, I wish they kind of found ways to like visually do stuff like that on Green Hill Zone and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I
like,
mean,
just have, like the hills and like the ceilings.
I feel like, it hasn't been confirmed this is what they're doing, but I hope this would be a cool direction for them to take. If like, a lot of the stages start out kind of more normal looking, but as you go on, They sort of like mash stuff together more and like starts looking less familiar. Because a big thing they've emphasized about like the cyberspace stages, since we're on the topic, they keep saying like, oh, it's like Sonic's memories. We're going through Sonic's memories, so that's why we have like the old stages returning. Which I mean, I think a lot of people always kind of sniff that out as like an excuse for like just getting to reuse assets, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, if they want to prove me wrong, if they want to prove everyone wrong, I think it'd be really fun to see them sort of do, I don't know, just play around with that idea a bit.
I'll be fair. I also get the sense cyberspace is probably not as big of a part of the game as like maybe you might think. I think.
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
I think it's going to be 90% overworld, 10% cyberspace. If we're being frank.
It
Probably,
definitely,
yeah.
it definitely feels like they put in cyberspace as a way to like, if they were like afraid of alienating like old Sonic fans, like they have a little bit of familiarity there.
Yeah.
Because it is a big like ambitious new style they're doing.
Rosie, sound like you want to say something?
I was gonna say, like, I feel like they kind of added these in as like to be like a shrine equivalent, like how Breath of the Wild had like the shrines.
Right.
I feel like they were doing that, and I guess it helps that like it saved them resources to like reuse old assets like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did
I mean,
say
yeah.
that they would be like very bite-sized. I'm
Mhm.
assuming they'll be like almost like the length of like those colors levels that are like obviously really filler.
The ones that
Yeah.
get cut in half.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I kind of like. Because I think the way you implement something in like a gameplay loop can make all the difference.
Mhm.
It definitely helps. Like this isn't all there is to it. They're like, I think they're being sort of clever with it. They sort of described it how like they're fleshing out the stuff that happens in between super short stages, which I think is a really good idea.
That's always been the big curse of Sonic as like a major franchise, right? It is inherently a franchise that is hard to make, like, because to me, I think a lot of people think like, oh, if a game's gonna be $60, it needs to be 50 hours long. I'm not like that. I think the bare minimum for me is usually it has to be like 8-ish hours for me if it's gonna be full price. Like that's kind of my stats. Like I think like Kirby, like the recent Kirby, like Forgotten Land, like that's fine. That's perfectly fine time for like a 60. It needs to be like high quality and like about 8-ish hours. I think that's fine for $60 if I'm being frank. But Sonic, like, with what it is a franchise about like speed, you're naturally going through levels like very fast. You're going past a lot of like locations very fast. I don't think it's always been a problem they had to tackle. Because a lot of Sonic games you could beat like in 5 hours. Like they're not very, and I think some Forces even kind of knew that because that was only $40 at launch. I think even they kind of knew it was short, which isn't a problem. But like it shows they were aware. So I think I think a lot of this game has been tackling like, okay, how do we address the issue that modern 3D Sonic is inherently just like always going to be short, and how do we find ways to extend the game that doesn't feel like boring filler?
Right. And yeah, this one, I have to say, this might be it for them. Like I think they might have finally found it.
This is looking like a very nice balance of like content that actually feels good to like play. That like you can sort of pick and choose exactly like how like deep you want to go into it, alongside like the main course of the actual game in the like open zone areas.
Right.
There was a one thing I wanted to point out about the cyberspace levels that my friend Rick noticed. There's like a very soft like scan line effect whenever you're in one of the cyberspace levels, and I think that's a really neat detail.
No, it's been an interesting. I'll put this on screen in a minute. I might fuck up the bit rate, so I'll just be like for a second, but I'll put it on screen.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's been an interesting history for Sonic in terms of figuring out how to extend game length, because that's been a problem. I want to say they've been working on since literally Sonic Adventure 1. Because in that game, like, because they've had like different successes in terms of that solution. I think Sonic Adventure 1 honestly was on the right track, with like multiple playable characters, like with different play styles, tackling the same levels. Not same levels, but like similar locations, right? Like they can reuse the level location assets, but you're still getting like a different experience based on who you're using. That's a clever way to extend game time. I found, even if not everyone's equal in that game, it's a right direction type of thing. And then sometimes you have the bad ideas, like Sonic Heroes making you play the game 4 times, basically the exact same way.
And it just gets like longer and longer as you start progressing through more of the stories.
It's been interesting to watch them kind of figure it out.
Or you also have the problem of like they add like a completely just contradictory gameplay style that sort of clashes,
like Silver and Sonic 06.
Yeah. So I think with this game, I like that. I mean, some people
by the way, we're gonna look at them real quick.
Oh yeah. Oh, this screenshot is interesting because it's like this is a level layout from Sonic Unleashed with a level theme from Sonic 3 with enemies from Sonic 2.
Right.
Yeah. I would love to see more of that, like messing with, like the conventions of like what we're expecting to see. It's like having like sort of like mishmashes. I think that's an interesting direction for this.
Right.
If they're going to reuse like levels, then doing it in this way is honestly like sort of interesting.
And also reusing layouts from like games that they don't always draw from. Like I think it'd be fun to like see sort of like a reference to like I don't know, like a Shadow the Hedgehog stage, even if just a little bit.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You're gonna reuse Railgrind Canyon from Sonic Heroes.
Oh no. Okay, well, they have like a functional rail grinding system in this one.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be a little better if they do that.
What if they use like the rail grinding from like Lost? What if they combine both?
What if there's a Lost World like level in this layout?
I mean, they could. They have the parkour from Lost World. Which
true.
I'm imagining like Chemical Plant Zone like on an oval.
Yeah. Oh my god! Imagine building up a cyberspace stage and you have the Mario Galaxy tube. That would. Okay. They've said like they want Sonic fans to have moments where they point at the screen and go like, "Oh, I recognize that." If they do that with like Sonic Lost World, I think that would actually be like sort of exciting. Like do something we're not expecting.
I'm imagining Sonic gets to the end of like the Lost World level, and you see like the back of Zavok, and you're like, "Ah, that's him," and then he turns around and gets Zomom's face, and that's like a boss.
Hold on, I'll be right back, like super quick.
Okay.
Oh, okay, of course. I don't. We can't talk about anything too interesting while Will's away. What's a boring?
No, it's okay. You can. It's okay.
No, I want. I mean, Will like Sonic. You know, this is a Sonic discussion.
What if in Zavok's boss fight he has attacks from Master Zik? You know, that'd be cool.
Whoa, this is just like the Zik fight. Yeah, like a bunch of giant like watermelons fall from the sky, and you have to push them into giant fruit blenders. That's a real boss fight. And then Sonic Lost World. Yeah. Imagine level layouts from Sonic Lost World 3DS. Sorry.
That'd be funny if they. B Kirby says there's apparently going to be a Lost World level. I'm very excited to see it.
Really? Is that confirmed?
Please bring back Sonic Lost World Fruit level. The chat loves Sonic Lost World. Can we get some hype in the chat for Sonic Lost World Fruit level?
I think you need a Sonic Lost World Fruit level emote, honestly.
Silently saying, "This is just like that boss fight in Sonic Lost World."
Yeah, we're gonna see Zomom's big green Lego head from this boss fight. But yeah, honestly, legitimately, that sort of stuff would be cool. One idea I saw someone have, which sort of ties in with the story, because we see like the girl Sage who tells Sonic to leave. She's sort of like screwed up. She has like a bunch of red stuff on her, which is like what Sonic has whenever he touches the Amy prison, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hello. I'm just talking about a little theory I saw someone have. So like the idea was that like she and Sonic are both linked to like the cyberspace. So like eventually like you start seeing stages that are like from her memories, and they're like
cool.
unfamiliar. I think that would be a cool idea if they want to.
That would be a very cool direction.
If they want to really play with the fact that it's based on your memories and like sort of push new ideas as you progress further. I think that'd be neat. I think I think it'd be cool to get if we could get at least. I think it's been rumored that there's like 5 islands. If we could get at least like one new sort of cyberspace theme per island, I think that'd be pretty satisfactory. No, I'd be okay with that. I'd be excited about that. I mean, I'm okay with it as is, honestly. I mean, it's a little disappointing, but like, as we said, like most of the game is not going to be in these stages. They're more like special, quick bites. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear the main focus is the open zone levels, which I
Right.
wholeheartedly agree is a good direction.
I think stuff we've seen at the desert level. I think they've been showing more of like how like the big overworld has like little mini levels in it. You know,
Mhm.
like there'll
Yeah.
just be little sections that'll have like platforming or whatever. They've been showing more of that, and that all that looks really cool. I think it'll be really fun to just sort of like run around and traverse the area using that stuff.
I think the key to a lot of these open world games, I think especially Breath of the Wild, this is Sonic's Breath of the Wild moment, Sonic Breath of the Wild. But you know, jokes aside, I think something that people really liked about Breath of the Wild was like the ways you could traverse the world, right? Like kind of it's weird to say it, like describe like movement options like in an open world game, right? I think that was something that people really liked about that game, and I think Sonic has a real chance to like kind of do fun stuff with like moving around in an open world, which I think sometimes is something. Maybe this is I don't know. I don't play a ton of open world games. So I think sometimes a lot of open world games kind of feel slow. Like it takes forever to get places. Your character isn't like super mobile. I think kind of emphasizing that will bring a new spin to the formula.
Oh, new spin.
Get it? Sonic spins. He's
I'm
a
good.
ball. His name is
I'm
Sonic.
good. You know what you're thinking? I'm not
That's
coming
a ball.
to Netflix anytime soon. There's no information on my show.
Speaking of spinning,
Yeah.
Sonic doesn't have a spin dash in this game, but he has the drop dash, which I think is really weird and interesting.
That's really fun. I love how the drop dash has become just sort of like just put it in anything sort of a
It's-
move for Sonic.
It's good. It's like the perfect like addition to Sonic's moveset. It's so
Yeah.
good for
Yeah.
like extending like
Mhm.
the flow of his like whole movement in both. I'm excited to see it like happen, like how that's handled in like a 3D environment, since we've only seen like 2D.
I have to read this comment from Lou in the chat. Hey Ryan, remember when you said you think the trend of open world games would either die or thrive depending on the success of the Sonic game? Yeah, that's true. I'm standing by that. If Sonic beats open world, everyone will decide open world is cringe now, and they won't make one ever again for another 20 years. But this is good. The
True.
open world will get to live.
Wait,
Now, Lou, I
maybe we
thought
need
I
Sonic
couldn't
Frontiers to
remember.
fail. Hold
Yeah,
on.
maybe we need Sonic Frontiers to fail as a sacrifice.
He can take the fall. He's had games fail before. He'll deal with
I'll be okay.
it.
I guess talking about Sonic's moves, he's got a lot of freaking moves. I want to get that image real quick. There was like an image from the Gamescom where it was like an infographic of like the controls, and it looked like it was just like so poorly designed.
Yeah, I saw people who thought that Drift was on the D-pad because of the way that they laid it out.
Yeah. But yeah, that I guess that's just to emphasize. Sonic's got a lot of moves this time around, which I think is pretty cool.
I know what you're thinking. I'm
He's
move.
got.
That was bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to move around. It's okay. It's okay, Ryan. This seems like I know this is jumping the gun. This might be like some of the best combat they've ever tried to do in a Sonic game.
To be fair, that's a
Um,
very low bar.
It is. I feel like a lot of
let's be completely fair. Combat for 3D platformers, the bar is so low.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know
I
who
think
had
the
the
problem-
best combat?
What?
Who did?
Pickle.
Peggle?
Peggle?
Pickle.
Oh,
Pego?
Yeah, Piggle. You know what? Yeah, Piggle.
Peggle my ego?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, why the hell not?
Ryan, do you know what your girlfriend's talking
I
about?
actually don't. I'm trying to think of like the 3D platformers in my mind that like have good combat or like Psychonauts
Wait.
2, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Rayman 3 kinda, and that's it, really, to be frank with
Yeah.
you.
Wait,
And
who said
Psychonauts 2,
minus
like
2 for?
Psychonauts 2, like the combat is like fine, but the only reason it's like I like it, but I understand it's not the main focus, and I think it serves its purpose very well. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it has like groundbreaking combat, but it doesn't need to be because it's not the point of Psychonauts.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the first 3D platformer ever I played. Like, oh, the combat's the best part of this. that's where the bar is.
Uh-huh.
Just that infographic,
so
by
yeah.
the way, everyone. It's great.
Yeah.
It literally does look like Drift is set to D-pad. Like if you like
Yeah,
just
they
glance at it,
They don't like space or like box the different control like menus or like indicate. It's just it looks insane. But I guess this is just to emphasize like yeah, he's got a lot of moves.
it's,
Yeah,
it's nice
you-
to see that Drift is back, but I'm sort of sad it's like for only certain sections, like it was in Colors.
Yeah, I guess that's just a sacrifice of like there's only so many buttons, and usually
Yeah.
drift has to be its own button. I guess they could have put it
Well-
on specifically the left trigger.
Yeah, wait, hold on. There's nothing on the left trigger in this infographic.
Yeah, I guess they could have put it there, but you know, as long as they design the game in a way where you don't really need to use it,
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
it's-
sure it'll be
it's-
fine.
his handling seems more precise overall. But yeah, usually combat in Sonic games is a lot of the time it's like, you know, you've played Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, no, but I've heard defenses of Sonic Heroes. I know, I get it. It's supposed to be a puzzle game. I don't think it's a fun puzzle game. I'm just gonna
Very
say that.
good puzzle game.
I don't think it succeeds at anything it tries to do. I understand the game design thesis. I still don't think it's very good. I'm happy for everyone though who likes it.
One of-
I'm not a bitch.
One of
Is
the
there- I
worst
just-
parts of the game is like the story that is just puzzles.
Oh yeah.
The chaotics. Like,
Bro-
You
mean Don't get my me wrong. story? Don't get me wrong.
mine?
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry, Vector. I didn't mean it. I was just joshing. I was pulling your leg.
Don't you like how I blow a big bubblegum bubble and I float in the air?
Anyway, I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I love the chaotics. They're like my favorite characters in the entire like Sonic
Aw.
cast, but their story is not good.
Rose, you sound like you were going to say something earlier, by the way.
I was gonna say, Sonic Heroes level design are like made by a man who was
Dying.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
tried and done.
Yeah, Sonic Heroes, like, for, like, the entire back half of its development, I think, like, had basically one person working on it.
Yeah, no, I remember
One and a
like I remember that was like confirmed. So the other level designer got like 6. So one, I think it was Izuka maybe. I don't remember if it
Yeah,
was him
it was
like
him.
personally.
It was
But he had to do like all the level design, and it makes it so obvious. It's like because the first like half of the levels, like I think like Seaside Hill and like some of the other earlier ones are fine, but then you
Mhm.
get to like Rail Canyon and like Mystic Mansion, and it's like okay, this is so clearly like not as polished as like the earlier levels.
Right.
Yeah, like
Um,
only one half of the person worked on that.
right. But yeah, the combat in this game, I mean, we've seen a lot of it now. They even like recently released a video of it. And I think it looks really good. I think an important part.
It looks clean, dude. Oh my gosh, look at those combos, dude. This is like Dragon Ball. It's like a shonen anime, dude.
I think I think a cool element of the combat in this game, from what I'm seeing, is that it seems to like involve like a mixture of different movements, and there's like a number of ways you can approach an enemy that isn't just like spam your one attack over and over on them.
Yeah, that's the problem that I come to with like any Sonic game that tries to have combat. Besides maybe like the Werehog, because it's like an entirely separate thing. But it's like
Right.
it's always just the most efficient to mash homing attack. Like that's just
Right.
how that. I guess you could use like guns and Shadow, but most of the time I just didn't bother and just homing attack things to death when I played that game.
Right. So yeah, I'm glad. I mean, I
Sorry-
guess.
sorry to hear my dogs, by the way.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
it's
don't
okay.
worry.
We all love dogs.
Yeah.
It helps that they've made a game that has more than one button to interact with enemies.
It helps that they made a game where you have a parry move. Any game that has a parry is like automatically way better than one that doesn't.
Uh-huh. I like how they've used Sonic's like quick step move. He's out in a lot of games now, and it's like a combat dodge now.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's a
super
cool
smart.
way to like repurpose the move he already has.
They gave Kirby a dodge roll, and it made it the best combat in any 3D platform ever. That's just
Yeah.
the key. It's just giving
Yeah,
all
I
your
mean,
3D platformers dodge
yeah,
rolls with
let's
Witch
look-
Time.
Let's
I mean-
look at this here. Psychonauts 2 has a dodge roll. Sonic Frontiers has a dodge roll. Kirby in the Forgotten Land has a dodge roll. It's a perfect science.
It's the
And
key
we
to
brought
it.
up earlier. New SpongeBob game has a dodge roll. So
Oh shit!
already.
Let's go, SpongeBob sweep.
But yeah, the combat looks really cool. Like I like all these cool moves you have. I mean, there's like, of course, you have your big, oh bless you, you have your big open world skill tree, of course. I like the variety of moves he has. That sort of like some of them like play into like his speed. He like zips around the enemy, or he's like spins around in a tornado ball. The ones I don't. There's one where he like moves his hands out and he shoots energy beams. I don't know what that's about. It looks cool, but I don't know who taught him that.
Me.
Hey. Hey, do you think when Smash 6 happens, they'll update Sonic's moveset because this gamer will still be 3 different spin
No,
dash moves?
It's still just gonna be the spin dash moves. It's so
Oh.
funny, like looking at that moveset and then learning that the like Sakurai for inspiration for Sonic's moveset, he had to play like Secret Rings and Sonic 06. It's like, of course, this guy doesn't give a shit. about Sonic's running
I've always
Smash.
wondered that. Like, how much do you think Sakurai cared about Sonic before Brawl? And, like, how much do you think Sonic 06 was, like, the learning point for him? And all this image of Sonic was painted by that game.
I think that's absolutely what happened because, in theory, Sonic should have like so much stuff in Smash Bros. Like
Right.
it's just rife for like remixes. Which there is only one remix of a Sonic song in Smash, and it's the Jun Sonoe Angel Island Zone from Brawl.
I
It
mean,
really does feel like it's
I mean, no offense, like Castlevania, when I say this, but it is so weird that got like an echo before Sonic did, right? Like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I don't have to say so specifically. It's weird. Shadow the Hedgehog wasn't a Sonic echo in Smash Ultimate. That feels like so obvious.
It does. That was something that like, everyone assumed was going to happen.
Because it's just so
For a while.
obvious. Let's not talk about Smash.
you
Let's get out.
remember
We gotta get out of
because
here.
we're gonna be here for like an hour if we talk about Smash.
Yeah. But yeah, in particular, I do love that move. I'm sure everyone's talked about it. There's like a move where he bounces off the walls in this arena. And that's really cool. I like how it looks like a combination of like, it's sort of like inspired by the Sonic movie, where he, at the end of that, he bounces around and defeats Eggman's giant machine. But it also looks like the Laser Wisp. So I just like when games include stuff from other games, but in new ways.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I like when they don't just like start over from scratch. Like this also has like the parkour stuff from Sonic Lost World, and it's apparently like implemented similarly, where you hold down a button against the wall
That's cool.
and he like runs on it. And I think that's cool. I like when games do that. I like seeing that.
I like that they're taking an idea from Sonic Lost World that was good, that just wasn't used very well.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
really does. It really does kind of feel like this game is like a culmination of what Sonic Team has learned about like making a modern Sonic game in the past like decade.
Right. Yeah, I think when this game was revealed, a lot of people kind of cursed that it wasn't like sort of returned to something like an adventure style game exactly. And I think that would still be cool to do. But I do like how, in a lot of ways, this game is like very much trying to do its own thing, like carve out a new sort of path for Sonic.
Right.
It hasn't
I'm
done.
I'm personally very grateful that they didn't just completely trash like the entire idea of like Boost Sonic moveset. I think it's a much better idea to like take that as the base and sort of like evolve like a new playstyle from that, because I feel like every time they just like throw out a completely fine gameplay style and try and make a new one, that's when a new divide in like the Sonic fan base happens. Like that's why
Right.
we have the three camps of like classic Sonic and Adventure Sonic and modern Sonic, and the theoretical fourth camp of Lost World Sonic, if anyone cared about that game.
But yeah, I think this game is getting. They might be able to like bridge a lot of those gaps because this has a lot of the structure, sort of the structure of adventure, where you have these big fields to play around in, as well as the linear stages, and a lot of stuff, a lot of the play style from like Generations has carried over, and you have the Lost World parkour, and you have classic nostalgic stages from throughout Sonic's history for the classic fans. Sky Sanctuary, here we come. So I think there's something for everyone, in a good way. I like how there's not like, it does. For the most part, it doesn't feel like they're just putting stuff in just for the sake of it.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like classic Sonic Forces, where it's like, oh, yep, he's here because we gotta please the classic
Yeah.
Sonic fans that already got a game like 3 months ago.
Cyberspace is as close as it gets to that, but even that, I feel like, is more cleverly done.
Yeah.
What do you think the reaction on
It's-
the Forces team was when they told they had to put classic Sonic in the game?
I bet they jumped for joy and they're like, yes, classic Sonic gameplay from Sonic's past. This is
I
a
feel
rush
like-
of nostalgia.
I almost feel like Sonic Forces would not have been received so poorly if it weren't for the fact that Sonic Mania had just come out, so we had
That did no
baseline
favors.
for a baseline for how classic Sonic like should function. It was
Yeah.
fresh in people's minds. Then you go to like classic Sonic in that game, and it just ugh.
Right. We've been going for a bit. Does anyone have any final words they want to say on Sonic Frontiers before we move on to like our final segments?
Game looks good.
Yeah, looks great. I can't wait to play it one day.
I'm excited to buy the Digital Deluxe Pre-Order Edition, where I get extra collectibles that help me finish the game faster as a reward.
You get to play the game less. What a great reward.
Yeah, yippee! Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm getting it's funny, like people have said this. This is a rare case of a Sonic game where the more people see of it, the more good it looks.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the inverse of the Sonic cycle.
Right. So I'm actually, as it is now, I'm excited for this game to define future releases of Sonic the Hedgehog. So yeah.
All right. We're gonna move on now to the part of the show where we talk about something we played, watched, or read this week. I'm gonna start with Rosa, because we got a Patreon topic that I'm going to put here instead of later because I think it'd be fitting for now. Rosa. Kelsey's on Patreon asks, "Can Rosa please talk about the Mango comic she read? I am not suggesting this because Rosa threatened me."
Now, disclaimer. I did not threaten Kelsey that time.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the comic though?
I mean, yeah, we're paid to do it, so.
Yeah, go for it. Right now, this is the perfect time to talk about it.
Alright, so so I went out and got myself another fan comic. They're typically called doujinshi, but because due to years of like no one making distinction of like certain content in a it's doujinshi and being standalone, it's sort of like I just had to say fan comic, but whatever.
You want to
So
explain what
basically-
Mango is real quick?
I don't know what's happening.
Go on,
I
Rosa.
don't know what's
So-
happening to me.
Okay, so Mango is like a two precure pairings of the precure pair of like Senga and Minori from Tropical Rouge Precure, and I just think those two are like very endearing together.
Mhm.
But they're like also characters that kind of like not enough. Well, more single, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'd like to see more content of these two. Oh my god.
And how was the book you got from them?
Alright, so it was named by someone called Poochie_5682.
Poochie.
I previously got their other one before, but this one is like called I think it's called my favorite senior or my favorite junior. I don't know, one of the translations are like weird, but it's like yeah, but it's like just a little dramatic comic about those two like having issues. Like it takes place in the end of the series, and they sort of just have like issues.
And they're tear ducts.
Yeah, it's like some weird love triangle going on, and they're sort of just like pulling about like damn.
All right.
Anything else you want to say about it? What happened? I just mentioned I'm making sure you get to talk about it.
I think like I read it's like oh. It's like, oh, that's sad, but then it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna get over it in like a day or two. That's all I gotta say about it.
You think they can make it work? You think they could be like
Oh.
Homestar Runner on the behind the scenes videos where he's in New York City as the puppet and he goes, I gonna make it after all.
What?
What? Come on, Rosa.
I mean, yeah, they're like scribbles. They're gonna make it work. They're gonna come back from it.
That's good.
I'm proud of them.
It's only physical only, and that's where I got it. So
Thanks, me, Kirby. Yeah, I'm glad you got to buy a book of your favorite little Scrimblow Bimblows from Precure. You talk about them all
Yeah.
the time. I know them so well. You've commissioned nearly everyone you know to draw them. I'm really glad you're keeping the mantle alive.
listen, that's how it started. That's how this all started. I was gonna commission Kelsey, and then that happened. So
I mean, hey, Lou pays Seep every month to draw Jose from Disney. So I mean, people follow. It's all about following your dreams, and I'm glad you are too.
yep, Seep is on the list too. So
What?
you'll see.
Okay.
You've made Mango a household name out of pure determination.
I guess so, huh?
We can't keep we can't keep on the segment too long, but I do know you want to talk about Common Rider real quick.
All right, that's what I'm more confident talking about.
You want to talk about that real quick?
So I finished Kamen Rider Den-O. It was my first Kamen Rider series, thanks to my friend Kelsey, and I really enjoyed it. So it all started with a meek boy named Ryotaro, or Ryotaro, right? Yeah, Ryotaro. And one day, these monsters, or they're called Imagines, come from the future or from time, trying to get contract with people. Meek boy, no, meek, but
Like
no,
Violet
they're trying
Murphy.
to make yeah, they're trying to make contract with people and fulfill it. And when they fulfill it, they can go back in time and cause destruction. Now, this one went into Ryu, and he tried to make a contract with him, but he doesn't. And as a result, Ryu is then recruited by the Dental Train people to help them defeat the Imagines. And with the help of his Imagine, Momotaro's, he takes over Ryu's body and transfer into the Kamen Rider. Yeah, the funny demons, I love it. Now there are like 4 main ones. And there's Momotaro, the red demon. He's like headstrong and angry, but he's so funny and he's such like a teddy bear little down the line. There's this harlot named Orotaros.
You call so
Whenever-
many characters harlots.
Listen,
That's one of your favorite
Li-
words.
I know.
It's a good word.
Here's the thing about Orotar is that like whenever he takes over Ryo's body, he's like makes him all sly and like handsome and everything, and he goes out at night just dating women. Just
Oh my
dating
God.
hundreds of women at night. And then there's another one named Kintaros.
What?
Rosa, you can't just introduce this character to me, call them a slut. I can. I will again. Now there's Kintaros. He was Imagine he took in, and he's like this very strong Imagine. He gets called a bear sometimes, but Momotaro. And it's like his catchphrase is like, my shirt will make you cry. And each time he hears the word cry, he comes in and like starts fighting for Ryu. He's not like violent. He just like likes to challenge people, and he tends to
Like
just think a
Shadow?
lot. No,
Oh,
no,
okay. I tried tying it back together.
no. He's very no. He loves his friends. And then there's this other one, this purple one named Royal Taros. He's like a little kid, maybe like just mentally, but no, he's like the kid. He like whenever he takes over Ryu, he does like he starts breakdancing, and at each time he breaks dance, he like snaps his fingers, and everyone just joins him. It's like so hilarious. And his battle cry is like, "Mind if I kill you? I can't hear you." It's so funny. This kid is so hilarious. It's like causing trouble for these guys.
This is
And
like a
it's
cartoon or something.
it's a live action show like Power Rangers and stuff, so of course Super Sentai and
Okay.
everything. It's such a fun time. I love these characters so much. It
Yeah.
Oh.
it's just like a good way into it. Just seeing them transform, do battle cries and everything.
And they're
Yeah,
on
and
and they're on a
real-
train.
Oh yeah, they're also on a train, a time traveling train.
Oh my god.
There's also a character called. There's also this character named Hana. She was from the future, but it was destroyed. So she's on the train and she's helping Ryu alongside him to like help, like figure out what are the mansion's up to. She's so hilarious. She's like surprised every time she comes into the room. She will like punch like and imagine like one of the guys because they're just like messing with her. But especially Momotaro, she loves to punch him the most just to get him to behave. It's so funny. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. It's a really fun series. Watch it. It's really good.
Definitely sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it is.
And they're even on a train.
Yeah. Also, fucking hell, I can't believe it. There was like also a thing where they reference Precure.
Thank God. Arrival. Seep, did you watch or play anything this week or read?
I am watching Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. I've seen like one full season of it. I don't know, I just started watching it just because it's on the HBO Max. Yeah, I don't know. I like Harley Quinn. She's funny. She's cool. I don't know. Have any of you watched that show?
I haven't
Like,
yet.
in this
No.
room?
What's up, man?
Nope.
No? Okay. I guess maybe I've really anything. I don't know. It's like
you could talk about it. I mean, most of us haven't watched Kamen Rider, so I mean, you could talk about Harley Quinn.
I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it. Although I watched it. I mean, it's cool. It's all right.
It is a show featuring Harley Quinn.
It is. It has some funny moments. It has that freaking guy. I don't want to get his name wrong. Hold on.
I believe his name is Batman.
No. Ron
Oh,
Funches.
wait, it's the Joker.
It has Ron Funches in it. Who is that guy? I don't even know what characters he plays, like in other things, but I just hear his voice a lot. He was in Trolls. He was like the giraffe thing in Trolls. That guy.
Oh, the one in the sequel who's also like a hip hop troll or fuck
Yes.
troll. I mean, yeah.
He was his King Shock. And I don't know. Batman is in it. Do you like Harley Quinn? Like, do you like her? What do you think of her? Any thoughts on Harley Quinn in here?
Like that she's a femme.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I think if I watched that show, I might go a little insane. I'll be frank with you. That's neither here or there. But if I watched, I might go a little insane. I'll just say that.
You have your Joker
All right.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a comedy show. It can be funny sometimes.
All right. You good?
That's all I have.
Will, did you play or watch anything this week?
Oh boy,
It has
did I
Cedric
play
Vader
something
Batman.
this week.
Okay. What is it? What do you have? What does he play?
Rugrats Royal Ransom, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It is a 2002 3D platformer by Avalanche Software for the Nintendo GameCube and PlayStation 2, where you play as one of the 5 babies that exist in Rugrats. Is it
At the
5?
moment, at the time.
At the
right?
moment, and yeah, I guess so. It's probably the most. Well, it would be the most aggressively mid game I've ever played if I had just played it on easy mode.
What?
But I decided to play it on hard mode because I'm a hardened veteran gamer. So what they do for hard mode is they just increase the number of collectibles you have to get in like the collectathon levels, and also just sprinkle a bunch of Jack in the Boxes that have Angelicas pop out that explode if you get near them, just like all around the map. It gets excessive at some points. I did a stream, I think it was the other day. I went to a level where you had to collect apples, and I assume for like easy mode it was probably like, I don't know, like 60, 70. For hard mode it was 200. I was on that level for an hour listening to the same loop of the like most nothing music I've heard in my life. I was constantly hearing Chucky Physical like, I likes apples. It's like, I don't want to hear this anymore.
You know, this is actually kind of fun.
Man,
Like,
this.
it was so. You look at the how long to beat page for it, and it says like 3 hours. That is only if you play easy mode. If you play on hard mode, you're going to be there for like 10 to 15 hours.
That's a lot of Rugrats gameplay.
This is making Ryan. This is making me miss when we played certain game.
Which one?
You know, the one we still have one more stream of.
Oh yeah, we need to finish that. I think I've told the story. Rugrats Royal Ransom was actually one of the last games I streamed when I regularly did that. I was in a really, like, I don't want to get too into it. I was in a great place. I was angry and upset at a lot of things. And I went to go stream after taking kind of a break. And Rugrats Royal Ransom just refused to run, and it made me so angry. Like, I was so upset, like, about how laggy it was. And this was like the 4th stream in a row that like was like that, like was broken and laggy, and I had to like cancel early. And I was so mad I quit streaming.
This was the straw.
I was in the middle of one of the levels. I think it was one of the snow levels. B Kirby was in the chat and was like, "Oh, this is the level that Ryan quit on." And I was like, "This is for you, Ryan. I'm defeating the Rugrat, defeating the baby just for you."
There was a few more real life reasons. Like I couldn't keep streaming with my schedule unless it was like gonna be like a job I made money off of, which it just wasn't. And but I think that was just the point I reached. Like, I can't keep doing this. I'm so mad. I hate Rugrats.
If it makes me feel any better, I have a similar hatred for Rugrats now that I've played that game.
Oh my god. Can we get the
Alright,
secret of
Tell
Chucky?
how Chucky was a centrist.
Yeah, you came in and you came into my chat, Rosa, and you started talking about like Chucky's like political leanings and like if he would be a centrist or not, and what he would think of Bernie Sanders. It was like that was the most fun I had with the game, was pondering like the political leanings of Chucky Finster.
Wow. What'd you come to?
Well, I am very firm on him being like a centrist. He's just middle of the road. He's one of those guys who thinks that every side, like each side, is just as bad as the other. I think he's a big fan of Joe Biden. That's just what I think.
Chucky Finster is a total Joe bro. I mean, like he's not even one of the people who just voted for Joe Biden to like get Trump out of office. He was ride or die Joe Biden, I think.
He would have voted for Andrew Yang, I think.
Ooh, okay.
But
Chucky,
then,
I can imagine
but then the Yang gang like fell apart and they went for Biden instead.
Yeah.
Well, go on.
Chucky was the kid. Chucky was the baby that went to Wakanda forever.
A what?
Yeah,
Oh, Wakanda. Oh, yes.
Chucky crosses his arms up against his like dad. He's like, "What's going on, little man?" And he goes, "Wakanda forever."
Okay.
And then Chucky tells Tommy they're still 2 when this conversation's going on. By the way, tells Tommy, well, Joe can't do anything as the president. He needs to get everything to go through first,
Can we talk about
Tommy.
What is this image, by the way?
Of Shadow Chucky?
Yeah,
Gotta put-
Yeah,
See that?
I was about to ask Ryan, can you do me a huge favor
Yeah.
and put Shadow Chucky on the stream? I was
Well-
just playing the game and you're not supposed to be able to stand on these mushrooms. They're supposed to be like bouncy platforms, but for some reason the game let me stand on the side of it and it got rid of like all lighting on Chucky. And from then on, Shadow Chucky was born. I don't
Wakanda
know-
forever was Tommy's first words.
Just make that nice and big. No, don't
Give
care about
Shadow
like
Chucky.
covering my name. Just make it really big.
Okay.
Shadow Chucky.
I went
Shadow
to
Chucky killed the stream.
I know I clicked stop streaming instead of enable preview.
Shadow Chucky took over the stream.
Are we live again?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey everyone, that was a momentary Chucky moment.
What's wrong with this show? We've been doing this for way too long. We have a Patreon. You can't be accidentally clicking stop stream. You can't be doing it's way too
no, it's okay. Shadow, it's because Shadow Chucky got me.
Shadow Phantom Chucky jumped in front of the screen.
Yeah,
Shadow Chucky was like, I don't like this stream. I'm canceling it.
I like how most people are watching the ad right now and probably heard nothing of the Shadow Phantom Chucky bit.
Oh no. No, that's what it's all about. It's you.
Did you
it's
guys
you
know
wanting
that there is a
more
1 in 100 chance that Shadow Chucky will show up in your office?
ads.
Let's do Five Nights at no, hear me. No, hear me. Five Nights at Rugrats, Five Nights at Reptars, and like all the babies get stuffed into the animatronic. Like the babies are in the
Oh my
animatronic,
God.
and then we make a Friday Night fucking Muppet stuff. And it's like Friday Night fucking versus Tommy and Reptar. Like because Tommy was put in the Reptar animatronic, and he goes, and the boyfriend goes, and then Reptar goes.
Can you like shut up?
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Where do we even go from there?
We go.
Ryan, have you
home.
played or watched or read anything this
Oh yeah, but Ryan.
Yeah, I actually do. I want to. So, Tuca and Birdie aired its final 2 episodes this week,
yeah.
and it's probably gonna be the last 2. It sounds like it wasn't canceled, but it wasn't. It clearly wasn't renewed, is what it sounds
Got
like.
Murphy.
It got Milo Murphy, yeah. I like to try to push the show a bit because I think it got stuck in kind of a bad place in terms of like it was the follow-up to, it's not like the follow-up literally to BoJack, but like it's coming from like a lot of similar people, this semi-similar art style. It's following up like that. That's like a juggernaut of like animation. And then when it went to Adult Swim, it kind of dropped in your Smiling Friends, and I got nothing against that show, but I think
Yes,
a
you
lot
do.
oh my
Talking
god,
about it.
no,
You
I
hate
don't
that
want to.
show.
No discourse.
Yes, you do.
No discourse. I just want to say. I just think when it dropped on Adult Swim, the big conversation was Smiling Friends is the first good adult show, like comedy animation in like years. And I think it got kind of swept under that, which I don't think it was completely fair to it. I don't want to. I hate hyping things up. Like sometimes like oh, this is really personal to me and I really love it and I'm gonna talk about it really nice, and then people watch like, yeah, it's okay. But Tuca and Birdie, and I mean this, I think post Adventure Time, like Adventure Time like ending, I mean like when Adventure Time start airing, I think it's the first cartoon since Adventure Time that like I've loved and liked a lot of cartoons, right? Like I love and like a lot of cartoons, but Tuca and Birdie's the first like I think is like a permanent like top 5 slot for me now. It has done so much that I want out of like animation as like a medium. I think it does like a lot that I've been wanting for a long time in terms of like adult animation, animation with like women characters, just animation that uses like the medium to express like an emotion or feeling. I think that's one of the most amazing things animation can do, is kind of project abstract like feelings and emotions like in a way that like I don't think live action could. I think that's one of its strongest suits, and I think Tuca and Birdie does a lot of that. I think very highly of it. It's very fun. It's very fun. It's very funny. It's got a high energy to it, but it's also like very genuine about its emotions. It's got a lot to say about its characters, and I think very highly of it. I love it a lot, and I you know, if it doesn't get any more seasons, I think I'll live. I'll be upset. They said they have way more ideas for more, but 3 seasons of like really good cartoon is like nothing to sneeze at. Like 30 episodes of a good cartoon is really nothing to sneeze at. And I'm thankful for the time that it did exist.
Yeah, I really love like I feel like it has a very unique tone to it. Where it's sort of it's hard to like box it into like one thing. It's just kind of itself. It kind of reminds me of Adventure Time in that way.
Here we go.
Yeah, I know. It's like my favorite show or whatever.
It's mine.
Well, like you know, it does have it has a similar sort of like does whatever it wants sort of vibe to it.
Right.
You know. But it's definitely it overall like it's a very different show. I guess I'm just talking like for how creative
Right.
it
No,
is
I
to
get
me.
you.
And yeah, I'm glad it had a chance to have more than just the Netflix seasons.
Right.
'cause
Yeah.
I think it's done a lot
I
with the time it had.
I think something notable about it to me is I think when a lot of cartoon creators or like teams, because it wasn't the creator of BoJack do this, it was like the similar team. Like a lot of people worked on BoJack, worked on this, and it has a semi-similar art style. That's because the creator of this was the art director for BoJack. I think when a lot of shows with similar art styles or teams make a follow-up, it's like impossible to watch them without like having the other show on your mind at all times. Like that's the big thing with every Dan and Swampy show, like Milo Murphy and Hamster Gretel. It's impossible to remove Phineas and Ferb. It's impossible to remove any of Butch Hartman shows from each other. Like it's impossible. But Tuca and Birdie's interesting because I don't think about BoJack when I'm watching it ever. It's its own beast completely in terms of tone and visual presentation and its characters. I think it's completely its own thing, which is cool.
Yeah, I think that's
it
cool too.
also, I think it also helps is that like in BoJack, it's also like both humans and animals, but here like humans are such a rarity in Tuca and Birdie,
Right.
and there's also like a mix of like people that are like plants.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cartoon logic stuff. There's like normal animals. There's like normal animals that talk like people sometimes. It's just a very wacky, funny show.
It's a show that uses its medium to like fully express itself, I think is how I put it. It is an incredibly like animated like animation show. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a shame if they don't do more, but like, cause like the last episode they did is probably one of my favorites, just in terms of like, it has a really fun balance of like funny, but like emotionalness.
Right.
Feels very genuine. It has really funny use of like cartoon logic.
Grant
guess.
Universe is in it.
Yes.
He says bitchin', and that made me laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, if you want to watch the show, you go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
It's good. Good.
All right. Before we wrap up, we replaced we mentioned this at the start of the show. We replaced the questions at the end of the show with patron topics, where patron can kind of submit a topic. We did this because we found people rarely had a question to ask, and we were just kind of stumbling for questions. And I thought having like people let them plan some time ahead to think about what they want to ask would help. So we made a perk on Patreon if you join the $4 or above tier, I believe it is. You get to submit a topic for us to discuss here at the end. We do 2 a week. That's Patreon. It's linked on our Twitter, and you can go there and you just support us. All right. So I'm gonna pick 2. This is a good one, I think. First, from Super Mushroom Hill Act 1-1. favorite OKKO side characters slash background characters, and I think this is a good one because I think that show has a lot of really good ones.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The one that comes to mind immediately that always makes me laugh is there's just a dog guy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he has a name or does anything ever. He's just like a dog guy. He always makes me laugh.
Uh-huh. I think I know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. It's hard to say. I think it's really funny that Captain Planet just exists.
Right.
I think I'll say that. It's just a really funny thing to do.
I like Miss Quantum. You can guess
Mhm.
why. That's up to you, the audience, to figure out why.
Now, I have two.
Okay.
Okay.
So I really like Carla because her design is cute.
Oh, the dog? Yeah. She's cute.
Absolutely, that's like a banger of a design, just like funny and energetic. And another one I love is Crinkly Wrinkly.
Oh, Crinkly
Okay.
Wrinkly is so good.
Yeah.
he's,
Okay.
he's canon to Sonic now.
He was in a Sonic comic, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
Hold on.
I've never seen like any episodes of OKKO, like I said before, but I heard about that character being canon to the IDW comics.
Yeah. It's the same comic where I think like the Reagan and Mob like guys appear in the background too.
I would
That's
not be surprised.
Yeah, but the Crinkly Wrinkly is like in the forefront in this comic, which is really funny.
He's-
It's literally him.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, I love the part just to talk about Crinkly Wrinkly. I love like isn't there one where he like gets off a bus and he's dressed like Finn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that was really funny.
He's a really good like wacky grandpa character who you could show up and do anything you want, and I think characters like that are kind of funny.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I found the panel with the Reagan
Oh,
background
good
character from this issue. There he is.
God.
Oh wow, what do you know?
There's another one I really like. It's like this like wolf guy, and he looks like so much like someone would draw like in their like 4th grade like study notes on like the side, like the Turning Red girls would draw like type of character, and every time he shows up, it's really funny to me.
I feel like this show has a lot of characters like that.
Yeah. There's so many good. I'm trying to think of. There's so many like good like background designs in that show. I think. Oh jeez, they're just huge.
I wish we could ever see the day where Uncle Grandpa got on that show. I feel like he'd work really well. Okay,
Oh, wow.
Oh well, the president of the universe in that show is from Secret Mountain Fort's Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot completely about
Oh
that.
yeah.
So there's a recurring character in OKKO called the President of the Universe. And his origin is in Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, and he's just in OKKO as like God basically.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
so funny.
Okay, KO is just connected to the Uncle Grandpa verse. I guess Uncle Grandpa was in an episode, but like, he didn't feature.
Yeah, Ben
you know?
10 turned it and went, "Good morning."
Yeah.
God,
Man,
wasn't there a bit where Wrinkly just did like a Sonic pose?
I think KO did that. He's the one who did the Sonic Adventure pose.
But I remember I remember seeing an image going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" of him doing that pose.
He
Like, it was
probably
so
did.
funny. He probably was slipping or falling over, and it's just like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, to be frank. No, yeah, that show, like, that's a real fun show to just look in the background a lot. There's a lot of really just fun, like, silly background characters.
Hey, that's Detective Conan. I'm
Um,
looking at this panel of Sonic Wrinkly. Like, I see Detective Conan and that girl that takes care of him.
oh
These are-
yeah. Okay, I see that now.
that's funny.
Yeah, that was a good Patreon question.
The second Patreon question is from Funky Izzy. What would you all like to see for a new Kirby spin-off? It could be stuff like gameplay, level themes, or characters you would like to see in a hypothetical spin-off.
I think the the easy thing to say is like an RPG.
Yeah,
I think I finally like.
Oh yeah.
I think I've definitely like gotten on that train. I mean, now that I've played like a lot of like baby RPGs like Paper Mario, I'm like on board with that now. I think they could do some. I feel like if they did a Kirby RPG, they would do something like interesting with the gameplay, to,
right.
like make it Kirby-esque, and I'm curious to see what that would be. I've seen some concepts. I think it'd be fun.
It's the kind of the only, I think, want to say genre like you think they would have tackled they haven't yet, which I think makes it like alluring.
Right. Yeah. And it does. I feel like there's enough like material, just like both gameplay wise and like story wise, that they could implement into something like that. So yeah, I'd like to see that. I don't know if anyone has any other answers. That's kind of the big one.
That's like the Kirby spinoff most people want.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like Air Ride 2 because like that's not a new one. I'd like another Air Ride. I think there's a lot you could do with another one. But like that's like I think that's so obvious. Like I think again, if you ask most Kirby fans for like what they want for like a spinoff, it'd be like RPG or Air Ride 2.
Right. Yeah.
Kirby Life Sim, Kirby Animal Crossing.
That would go so hard.
All the
Oh my
villagers are
God.
all the enemies. You can live next to Bonkers and Poppy Bros Jr.
That would be really cute, actually.
Oh, someone said Kirby Warriors. That's one I think.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yeah, I
moving.
was gonna be boring and say Air Ride 2, but I think Kirby Warriors that's a good one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Kirby definitely like for what it like looks like is like a very flashy series. I think that would work, to be frank.
Cool.
It's already like more combat oriented than a lot of other games. It's just it makes sense. It feels natural. I've never played a Warriors game, but I would if it was Kirby.
I played Hyrule Warriors on my Nintendo Wii U.
All right.
I think I can very easily picture it. Like I think it just makes sense like combo wise. Like the Kirby's got such a huge cast too. And that's kind of what these
Right.
warrior games like to do, is like you get to play as like every character basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I would like a point and click adventure game, Kirby.
Does Kirby turn to the camera and speak English?
No. It's a Kirby. Oh, and they may give Kirby like a little companion to like help speak to the others.
Hello?
You're pitching me Mickey's Magical Mirror right now.
Wow.
Game of the year.
Person. Right. Right. It's like the person who only played Mickey Method or Mirror.
No, no. The Mickey's Magical Mirror fandom is large and wide.
I'll have you know that I'm part of that fandom.
Yeah.
Ryan and I were talking about like pre-stream. We both played that game.
I love it
and how
because
it's like the most nothing game
No,
anyone has ever made.
I love it because it's the most we're trying to figure out this console video game ever made. It is a game where Mickey Mouse clicks on things and various tech demo demonstrations happen.
I said this earlier. It literally just feels like a point-and-click adventure game where nothing happens.
There's two characters in the whole game. There's Mickey and that ghost, and there's nobody else.
I do think it was cool that they revealed that the villain of Mickey Triple Deluxe was corrupted by the magical mirror.
Like, I remember when Mickey was like doing the Hadouken.
He does do a Hadouken in Mickey's Magical Mirror. That's true.
Wow. And that's not against the Mickey brand?
No, the Mickey brand approves that.
Okay. Wow. Good to know.
All right. I think that's the end of the show.
Really?
Yeah, I think we got all our Patreon topics out of the way. We got all our questions. I stopped the stream by accident twice. I did a great job tonight.
No, it wasn't your fault. That was Shadow Chucky.
That was Shadow Chucky, yeah,
Shadow
who
Chucky.
appears in the office sometimes. He appeared in my office very briefly and it scared me. I'm sorry, guys.
I
You have
wish
an office?
Starcasters were never born.
Before we go, this is a thing we do. At the end of every show, I'd like to thank our patrons. There's only 8, so it won't be long. Maybe it'll be long in the future, but who knows. Thank you to our patrons, Rose. I also said this in the Discord. If you'd like to refer, I added everyone. Nobody responded, but just in case, I like to say this again here. If there's like a different like username you'd like to refer you as, just tell me. I'll make note of that. But here we go. Thanks to Rose Hartford, Funky Izzy, Kelsies, Peter Avalon, Dino Fuzz, Super Mushroom Hill Act 1-1, Magna Mike, and Time Pavement, our patrons.
I thought it was Kessels.
I'm so good at words. Pezzles. Thank you to our patrons. You can join our Patreon for only $2 and a bunch of fun perks. All right, everybody have any things they want to say before we end off?
I just want to say thank you for having me on. It was a wonderful time. I love talking about Sonic, and I love talking about all the other stuff we talked about. Sorry, I'm so hyper focused on Sonic always.
It's all right. That's normal.
But thank you so much for having me on. I had a great time talking with
For
y'all.
joining. We glad we asked you at the middle of your stream.
I was on the last level of Rugrats Royal Ransom. I was there for like 20 minutes. I was like tired, bored out of my skull. And all of a sudden I see a chat message, "Do you want to be a guest?" And I had to think for a second, like, what does that even mean? I'm like, oh, the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've been a good guest. I mean, you've been on the stream before,
Yeah,
and
but
we like having you.
it was on the Roblox streams before, but this is my podcast debut.
Yeah, you
Right.
graduated podcast.
I did it.
Yeah.
I graduated.
I guess would you say this is a step up from Roblox? I mean, what were you talking about on there? Like Pibby? Like,
Yeah, well, it was like the last hour we just talked about Pibby. It was like nothing but Pibby. But it was a great time. This was a great time. I can't. I'm trying to like choose if this is a step up from the Roblox streams. Like asking me to choose who my favorite child is. I just can't do that.
of course,
Yeah.
because they would hear.
Exactly.
All right, before we wrap up, one final reminder: we're at 8 patrons. If we get to 10 whole patrons, I'll fix the YouTube playlist for
Are you
season
really gonna
3.
do
Oh
that?
my god.
Brian's gonna
Yeah.
fix the season 3 playlist.
I'll do it. Do it if
I got
we
one more
get
thing
2
to
more
say.
patrons. Yeah, Rosa.
Alright, so are we gonna end the stream right after I finish saying it?
Yeah, sure. I'll hover stop streaming.
Alright. So, like, really dramatic for Minority to say to Sango, imagine if we love each other.